20 seconds to comply.
Correct.
Was it 20? I can't actually remember. Is it 20 seconds to comply?
I think it was
20
15
seconds to comply. 20 seconds to comply.
I think it started with 30, maybe.
No, I think it's 20. But
think it is
maybe
20.
RoboCop started with 30, yeah. I don't know. Ed 209, what is that?
It was at 209.
But it's the
20
song. Is it, you're talking about? Are you talking about the songs, Stu?
Yeah, there is a song that samples it, isn't there?
20 seconds to comply. 20 seconds.
Yeah, it is.
It's a great song. Is it Silver Bullet? I think it's Silver Bullet is the
It's
name.
a very old house tune.
Silver Bullet is the name.
Yeah,
I think. Hold on.
All right, we're live.
Silver Bullet, 20
Put up, Simon.
seconds. Yeah, Silver Bullet, 20 seconds to comply. Out of all the house tunes, I never listened to house, but I remember
I know.
when I was a kid, Stu,
Yeah.
Pete had this on cassette. And
Did he?
I fucking loved it. But you know what else I loved when I was a kid? RoboCop. And you know
Well,
what I
there you
shouldn't
go.
have watched when I was a kid?
RoboCop.
Yeah, that's true. No kids should be watching.
Because
radio
I watched
or
it.
listening
I
to
watched
the
it as an adult, and I was like, "This is
Oh, yeah.
fucking awful. Like this is
yeah.
horrible."
It's fucked
show.
up, man.
Fine.
And then when he puts the spike into like RoboCop's like chest, and he's like,
It's gruesome.
Now,
Oh
you see,
my
what
God.
everybody remembers is the bit where he shoots his hand off. Come on.
No, I think the most memorable part of that show is the
Beep, 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 beep,
no,
beep,
it's
beep,
the
beep.
zombie guy. He's like, "Oh, no," and then he gets run over. He gets squished.
Help me. Yeah. My favorite, or my most memorable part of that is watching the director's commentary with Paul Verhoeven talking about, yes, and see, in this moment we have him walking on the water is more of the Christ metaphor.
Yeah, he loves his
Paul Verhoeven.
because he did Starship Troopers, didn't he? And he's
He
like,
did.
see, they
Yeah,
wear berets because they are Nazis. I was like, okay, right, fine.
That's very subtle. Thank you,
Yeah.
Paul. All right, are we ready to begin?
Yes, we're ready. Let's do it.
Let's start the motherfucking show, bitch.
Here we go, people. Come on, let's do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Welcome yo to the veteran game. What's that weird cat? Ginny out of fellas will tell you about every single game that you're playing this week. News, reviews, and an indie pick. Stu's story time and Chinny's game breakers. Here comes Duke with the soundbite saviors.
Bitcoin ain't nothing but soybeans on the computer.
It's the veteran gamers.
I'm just gonna tell you straight to your face that what you're saying right now is very boring.
Switch that console off before you have to press repeat, yo.
Welcome to the flower shop.
Hello and welcome to episode 711 of the Veteran Gamers Podcast.
Yay, 7-Eleven. What up, people? We're here for all your convenience video game podcast needs. I'm Duke.
I'm Stu, and I see what you did there.
And I'm Chinny. We have merch now, motherfucker.
Yeah, we do.
And we are not military veterans or veterans of the gaming lifestyle.
Blah, 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 stream. Okay,
Oh,
so
I was going to get a sound clip from Guru talking about I've been the man, I'm a veteran, but I didn't get it done. So maybe next week.
Next
Great.
week.
Yeah.
grape. Okay, so we got merch, and we got
merch.
people are buying it.
I don't believe
Suckers.
so.
People are buying it. So we've come up with a price, or as I say, I've come up with a price.
You've just come up with a price.
money.
Because now I know how much it costs to post.
Yeah, so
So-
the price includes postage, then we're guessing. then.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're saying 20 bars, 20 bags,
20 bags.
20 belongers for the t-shirts.
Yeah.
All right. Bear in mind, I have to bloody order them myself, pack them
He's got to
myself,
order 'em, he's
I
got
have
to
to-
package them.
cough on them when I post them, you
Yeah,
know, before I
yeah.
put them in the bag.
Give 'em some germs.
like that.
Some
You're
chinny
welcome, those germs are
DNA.
free.
Yeah,
exactly.
and then I have to bloody
He's got-
stick
he
on
got-
the
he got- he
thing,
got-
and I have to go to the bloody post office and put it in the thing.
Yeah.
But the first 2 t-shirts are going to be posted out tomorrow.
Oh my God.
Tomorrow.
Awesome.
Not impressive.
And those are going to your grandparents, is that right?
They're going to. Hold on.
Oh, he's got to hold stuff up to the
I
screen,
got,
people.
no, I got their labels, so I'm just looking
Oh,
at.
snap.
So I printed them out. So, on.
This is not good radio.
Shut up, Charlie Day.
Yeah.
That
Robert
was
Wilcox,
Dennis, not Charlie.
Robert Wilcox, and Nigel Strutt.
Okay.
And they're out. They're going out, man. The
So
t-shirts are moving.
Struttmeister and Nigel. Sorry,
Yeah.
Robert. Getting.
Now, I don't know
And-
if you realize, Chinny, someone's talking smack about you in the chat.
Who the fuck is this? I haven't logged in. I'll try to.
Is Chinny still a proud peacock after his snooker 19147 maximum YouTube upload from a few days ago?
Am I a proud peacock? What does that mean?
Are you proud?
proud
Are
of
you still
yourself?
strutting around, after your achievement?
Well, one doesn't like to base like little video games, is there? Yes,
I did.
am.
I did show Kay your little victory thing at the end when you did it, and she was laughing at you.
Yeah.
I just said.
A lot of people laugh at me, Stu. It's,
Mhm.
it's a
But if you
common-
have fun when you're doing it, whatever. Let the haters hate.
God, I'm trying to log into the chat. And it's like, select all the squares with motorcycles.
Oh, for God's sake!
Well, while you're doing that, allow me to say congratulations to España.
Fuck
They
off.
played very
Yeah, you
well.
can just fuck right off
Congratulations to England for playing very well. They kept them to 1.
right now. Yeah.
And I don't think they have anything to be sorry about. They played a heck of a tournament, and kudos to the women's team from England.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll let you off a
where's
little
the
bit.
thing? Wait,
I'll let
wait,
you off a
no,
little
there
bit.
was a sound clip there. Why didn't the sound clip play?
Good.
Oh,
It was
oh
probably
wait, I
something
have the sound clip here.
sarcastic.
No, here we go. Shut. Here we go. Congratulations to England.
Terrier. Second place? That's a fancy word for losing. You.
Fancy word for losing.
Wow. Really?
You all lost. Of course, we lost much earlier than you did, but
Someone
That
said
is
to me,
true.
"Are you not watching
it was,
the?
it was a good match.
Are you not watching the football?" I was like, "I don't watch men's football." So, like, well,
You're
why
not
should I-
likely- you're not
Okay,
allowed
but
to watch
any football, like
Any
doesn't matter.
football.
It could-
The England keeper, she did a great job blocking. They had a penalty goal that I thought was going to be a goal, but it wasn't. She
It's,
blocked
what
it out.
annoys
That
me
was
is like that's their one job, like to do that. So and
You
they,
know,
and they
I
do
did-
it, and everybody goes, "Bloody hell, that was good."
Yeah,
I'm
they
like,
did a
I
good
do
job.
my job every day.
Can I just say though, right? She got the Golden Glove. Did you see the trophy for the Golden Glove? It's the most
assume it's a
ridiculous thing
glove.
I've ever seen. It was enormous. Like it had this huge glove on this tiny little.
I am
base.
tired of people making jokes about my oversized hand. The
It
first
just
of
looked
these
ridiculous.
occurrences happened.
I know. I was just like, is that really a trophy? Is that the best he could come up with? Holy crap!
I'll take it. It's a
Looked
reminder of her
awful.
achievements. So
I guess.
kudos to everybody involved, and congratulations, España.
I'm looking at the picture of Mary Herbst, is it?
Yeah, Mary Earps.
Mary,
Yeah,
Mother of God.
Holding the Golden Glove,
it's enormous.
Yeah.
It's
and
just
she
ridiculous.
she has a face of. I'm sorry.
God,
Uh-oh.
that was Millie shouting, "Yo, go, Mary Earps."
I'm
in the
sorry,
Yeah.
Millie. Do you want to get your own
Hi, Millie.
fucking podcast?
No, she's welcome anytime.
No, she ain't. All right. So, yes, and the face on her when she's won it is like one of just. Is
I
this
would
it?
love to see that.
Is this-
Unfortunately, this is not a medium that we can share images.
Shut the fuck up,
with.
I
Duke.
know,
It's on the
who
screen,
knew?
right? So,
Shut the fuck up.
right.
I don't see shit on my screen.
Her face is just one of like, is this everything I've worked for? Like this.
Yeah, there you go.
Uh,
I'm
It is
holding
a re-
up a larger
It's
hand.
just ridiculous. To look at that trophy. Look, they can't make her a shirt, but they can make her a ridiculous trophy. Who knew?
Yes, well, football is
Great.
very crazy, no doubt about it.
Anyway, I went to
All right,
I went to an antique show today.
Did you?
Oh,
Why?
there's a
What are you
story
buying
going on
antiques
here.
for?
My
What the hell?
favorite time. It's story time.
Well, we took the mother and father, Vic and Elaine, right?
Were they doing a classic bargain and going, "What's your best price on that?"
Yeah.
What's your
We
best
went to an
price?
antique show, or as my dad calls it, a current show, because he was looking at it as like, I remember this money. This is why.
Yeah.
A threepence.
Threepence, 2 bits.
And I bought something from the antique show.
What?
Do you want to know what I
Oh,
bought?
snap.
Wow, what did you buy? Did you haggle? Can I ask?
I said, mate, I fuck out. They say my first rodeo, and he says 20 quid. I went, yes, immediately. That's fine. It was. I was looking around, and we was looking at stuff, and I didn't
Well,
expect.
slow
it,
down. Wait a minute. What?
but I was looking around, and I was looking at stuff. Right? Quote: Mike Chin,
Yeah.
2023. Looking around, looking at stuff. Wow, he's so inspirational with his speeches. So, and then I didn't think I'd buy anything because it was all old and shit. You know what I mean? Old shit is
Well, yeah.
crap, right? Everybody knows that.
Dusty.
Wait a minute. So So it was all old at an antique show. Who knew? Who knew?
But the thing is, Stu, I have quite an old house now.
You do. This is true. It is
So
an
to
oldie
put
house.
some-
You bought a
sometimes
new
to put-
doorknob for your old
To put
house.
modern things into an old house doesn't always look quite right. So I'm looking at, like getting some old little bits for the house, And anyway, I'm looking around. I don't see anything. Everybody's trying to upsell me on a fucking chair. And I went, mate, I don't want your chair. All right, fuck off. All right. He's like 83. I went, mate, get the fuck out of my face. All right, get the fuck out.
Find your own way to the wheelie
All right,
bin.
and I
ain't going
fucking
with your
kicked him.
garbage.
All right, because I'm not ageist. Didn't care that he was 83.
I'll
And
find
then
anybody.
I walked into this room and I spotted something. I was like, huh, that looks like one of those. I went over to it. I was like, it is one of those. Oh, that's cool.
One of those what?
It's
One of
a
those.
it's
It's
an
one of those.
old snooker case from the 50s.
What, as in
Oh,
a
snap.
snooker cue case?
It's a case for a snooker cue, but it was in 1950. And I was like, this is
Ah.
pretty cool. I like this. And my mom bought it me. She's like, I'll buy it for you. And I was like, oh, that's nice, mom. So
Well,
I,
you
hag-
better. I took
I,
you
I,
here.
I haggled upwards because my mom was paying. I was like, yeah, I'll pay 30 quid for it. No, so I bought this old snooker case. So it's like 70 years old.
Does it fit your cue? Does it
Does
fit
it fuck?
inside?
No, it's a decorative. It's going to be decorative. It's going to be
Oh,
something.
right,
like that,
okay.
It's not.
It's
I'm
a
not going to.
conversation piece. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
it's going to be like, hey, I bought this case from a bloke at a thing, and that will be the end of the
I
conversation.
heard your mum bought it for you.
You fucking lawyer.
I've got a story. Talking to...
for you. See what she
bought, you
fucking slag.
Can
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can I
go
just say I've got a
Nope,
snooker
we're not
cue
done.
story for you,
Fucking
Ginny. I don't think
hell.
I've ever
Oh,
told you.
snap.
I'll tell you what. That's
Um,
why the chat's popping off. No one's
I
talking
don't
in
think
the
I've
chat.
ever
It's
told
dead.
you.
It's absolutely dead.
We got 10 people watching now.
Near us, there's a guy called Trevor Emmons, right?
fucking
who's just-
Trevor Emmons.
Trevor
man.
fucking
told
Emmons,
us
All
his
right,
right?
he's a character. He's a
he used
character,
to-
isn't
He
I
used
know
to
Trevor.
own, I don't know whether he
Wasn't
still
Tony
does,
Blair?
but he used to own Blackpool Tower and Blackpool Football Club. So he's quite a well-to-do bloke, has quite a lot of cash.
Yeah, apparently.
And when we used to go and play snooker in the
Or else those
working-
towers are just shit.
Exactly.
Sorry, go ahead.
Working men's club in Eccleston,
Yes.
he used to come in and play with Timmy Knowles, right? Who's Tony Knowles' cousin.
Sorry,
right,
do
so-
I'm supposed to know either of those people?
No, Chinny will know who Tony
Okay,
Knowles
fair
is, though.
Tony Knowles is an old snooker player. He doesn't play snooker. In fact, he doesn't even talk about snooker anymore.
There you go. But his cousin was Timmy Knowles, who incidentally can't play snooker. But they used to come in the local
he's
working,
dead.
yeah, exactly, local working men's club. And then
Right.
they used to be like, "Oh, can we have the table?" And we'd be like, "No, fuck off. We were on it first." And then he'd go, "Here's 50 quid," and we'd be like, "Yeah, of course you can have the table." And they used
Damn,
to
they
literally
paid 50
pay us
quid to
off.
just play a
Yeah, they
game,
just
that's
used to
crazy.
pay us off so they could have the table, right?
Right.
And we got chatting to him at one point when we were talking to him, and he was like showing off a bit. And apparently, according to him, now whether this is
Who's this,
true-
Tony or Tim?
No, Trevor Emmons, the guy with all the cash, the dude. No, Tony Knowles never came. It was only Trevor Emmons and Timmy Knowles.
Okay.
But anyway,
He just wanted to get people's attention. But
yeah,
this is
Trevor
not-
Emmons, who's had all the cash, was telling us this story that at auction he'd bought Alex Higgins' snooker cue.
Okay.
All right, Hurricane Higgins, and he
For
paid a
Duke, Alex Higgins is an old snooker player. He's dead now. He died
See, now
because
you're presuming that I care.
he was an alcoholic, and he's everybody
Yeah, he
thinks
did.
he's a legend.
and
Everybody
he used to smoke like. a
everybody thought
shit.
he was great, and he attracted a lot of people to snooker. But in fact, I thought he was a fucking arsehole because he was just disrespectful. Anyway,
Yeah,
go
he was.
on.
Anyway, so he paid a lot of money at auction for it. I don't know whether it was his world championship winning snooker cue. It was some fancy snooker cue
Yeah.
that he owned, whatever.
Whatever.
And obviously he lives in this fancy house, and one of his kids, he told one of his
Shoved
kids
it up his
off.
ass.
No, he told one of his kids off for doing something, and he got said snooker cue and threw it in the swimming pool.
Oh,
Okay.
snap. So you
That
got
they
a
own.
waterlogged.
Yeah, so
bleached up-
guess, Mike, what happened to his
Bent up
fancy auction snooker cue when it got thrown in the swimming pool? Because the next thing you did was go, "I'll dry it out on the radiator." So
Well, that's
what
gonna
do you
work the hell out of it, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, it just ended up with a banana cue.
Big
He said it
bend,
was
innit?
literally bent that much. He said it literally looked like a banana. And he paid God knows how much. So there you go. That's a snooker cue story. There
I
you
think
go.
I think it's safe to say we have no more listeners to this episode.
No, we don't.
And we never will.
It's
yeah,
over.
because who wants to hear a story about a bendy snooker cue? Who knew?
Oh, no.
So there you go.
we will at
snooker
some
cue
point talk
story.
about video games, people.
Will we?
Does anybody
don't
have a
know.
story about things that happened to themselves this week?
Yes, I've got a story.
Of course. he does.
So
Go ahead,
So,
tell us.
as you know, last week I said Millie had come back from Paris with COVID.
Yes.
So we shipped her
Now
off
she's
to
all better.
Adams. Shipped her off to her boyfriend's house because we're like, you're not stopping here. We don't want COVID, right?
Yeah.
I was fine. On
She
Wednesday,
got all of Adam's family sick.
no, on Wednesday, Kay started getting symptoms, or so
Oh,
she
for God's
thought.
sake.
I was still
Sucks.
fine at this point, so I'm like, right, Millie.
Look how big Stu is smiling while he's telling the
I
story
know.
of his wife.
I was
getting this
going
horrible
to
disease.
die.
No, Millie, who was still ill at this point, but still at Adams, said, "I want to come home. I don't want to stay here anymore."
I hate
And I'm
Adam now.
like, "Well, I don't want to be here, so I got an Airbnb on me on for 2 days."
Really?
Damn, look at
Okay, yeah, I
Stu,
got
the
the hell out
family
of
man.
Dodge.
Fuck both of you. I'm
I
leaving.
got the hell out of Dodge and let them two be
You
here.
can
ill.
stew
Uh,
in each other's germs.
As it happens, it appears Kay didn't have COVID. We don't think it was
Well,
just a
that's
common
good.
cold, so that was good news.
That's
And
good.
Millie tested positive today, so we let her out of her bedroom. So all's good
Meaning
now
she
in the
tested
Fowler
negative.
household.
Negative,
Yes,
you mean?
Negative. Sorry.
Bloody
Not
It's a good
hell.
thing you work in an
Tested
old folks'
negative.
home because now
Yeah.
you know how to.
Never work in a
Test results.
sexual health clinic, Stu. Jesus
So-
Christ.
He works in a
Hopefully-
casino. Hey, 27.
hopefully-
You mean 21? Yeah.
Hopefully, I've avoided it. I still feel fine, so hopefully all's
Well, I'm
good.
glad to hear
I
that.
know, yeah. So when I got the hell out of Dodge and stopped in an Airbnb,
Well, what? Hold on.
Podmedon.
Hold on.
What?
Why are we talking about health and we haven't had the health jingle?
Oh shit, we haven't had a
Oh,
health
that's a
jingle.
good point. I forgot. It was
Oh
a
my
jingle
God.
about
The
health.
fuck?
Health. It's time to talk about health.
I'm sad about my knees, sad about my knees, sad about my, sad about my, sad about my knees.
Yeah.
Jesus
I think I hate that.
Christ.
You know, because that's it.
Anyway,
We're old now, Stu.
we are
So we have to
old,
talk
we
about
are.
our
We've
health.
got health problems.
We've got health problems now.
We've got health problems. I'm done, by the way. I'm fine.
All right.
And I stopped in Todmorden and I went for a walk or two and made the most of local area.
Before we talk about video games, can we talk about cramps?
Cramps?
Because I woke up.
Yeah.
Oh, oh God, you're still getting the night cramps and all that shit.
I woke up with a cramp in my calf, and I was considering chopping my fucking leg off at that point.
Yeah, I heard that
Welcome to my
much. Heard that much.
That
Oh my
sucks.
God.
I hate it.
Have you? Do you get that, Eric?
I get them a lot. Yes.
you really?
I've been taken to doing all sorts of stretches, and drinking a lot of water. That's one of the ways they
I tell
say
you
to
what,
prevent-
man. I woke up and I was like, I think I'm going
Oh, it
to
sucks.
die.
I'm like chewing on the blanket. It's
Yeah.
this thing. The pain
And,
is so
and,
intense.
and the worst thing is, like, you don't want to make any noise because you don't want to wake up your at the
Oh,
heart.
as soon as it starts, that's over with.
Yeah, no,
Just-
I
the
was,
Duchess is
I was like
awake
this.
as soon as yeah.
It does hurt, does it?
Oh, it sucks.
Oh my
The few
God.
times I've had cramp, it is the most painful thing ever.
Fuck.
It's really
hell.
painful. And I think
Yeah, it
that
is.
the more that I sit at my desk, you know, we tend to fidget, we tend to move our feet around. I sometimes will put my feet underneath, like bend them down like that. And it's obviously not healthy to
No.
do that. So I'm trying to be more aware of my posture and where my
Yeah.
feet are and stuff like that and drinking
So-
the water.
When Tara's in labour, I'm going to be like, I know exactly how you feel. 'Cause I have
Yeah,
cramp
yeah,
in my,
yeah.
my leg. and
To
it's
be
the-
fair,
it's the same
to be
thing.
fair, when you get
Pretty much, yeah.
really bad cramps, it is like someone stabbing you in the area where it is, isn't it?
It
It's
feels
very
like-
I've never
painful.
been stabbed, so I don't know. But
It
I'll
feels
take your
like
word
your
for it.
muscles are swapping round. And you're like, what the
Yeah.
fuck
Yeah,
are
it's
you
very,
doing?
very painful.
Yeah.
It's vicious. I hope people out there listening, we hope you never have nighttime leg cramps because they
No.
suck.
Sucks
Yeah.
balls.
All right, let's talk about some video games.
the way-
Yeah, let's
Let's
do that
talk
because
about
people do
games.
tune in
Where
for
are you
that.
going? Story time's over, isn't it?
Yeah. Here it comes.
Bam, bam.
What you been reading?
Oh no.
People. What you been reading? Yes. It's video game related. Been reading. Yeah. I saw a mention of this book called The Greatest Stories Ever Played.
Oh yeah.
Video games and the evolution of storytelling. And I was like,
Ooh.
well, I have to know every book that exists about video games if it's actually worthwhile. And this
Sure.
one is not.
Oh, no.
I as soon as I ordered it, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll keep my mind open, but I believe that this is probably going to be mostly like summary and blowing things out of proportion. And after having read about 4 chapters, I can tell you that most of it is summary and blowing things out of proportion. It's
What
like
does it say?
it says that because of you being the character, then the story is much more engrossing. And that's just not necessarily true.
And
A
boring.
good story is what engrosses you.
Yeah.
But just because you are the main character in Call of Duty 7, that doesn't mean that it's more engrossing.
Also, like
It's
when you
still a
play,
story.
like, I'm trying to, like, you're playing Arthur Morgan, right?
Right.
From Red Dead.
And there's a whole chapter about Arthur Morgan.
It's not like, I don't care about, like, I'm not Arthur Morgan.
No, Chinny, you don't get it. The relationship between Arthur and Dutch is so layered and filled with backstory, and there's all these important moments.
It's just Dutch going, I have a plan. And Arthur going,
Dutch, I don't understand what exactly your plan involves.
And Arthur's just like, man, I really wish I went with that girl instead of sticking with this gang.
Exactly. And then the chapter about BioShock is like, to be fair, BioShock is one of the it was the first really important game where it had to be a first-person game. That couldn't have been a third-person game. Like, it had to do with here's the reason why you're running around killing everybody. Like, here's why you don't get to choose to be peaceful with everything that comes your way,
Yeah.
So, like, that's fine. But that chapter is all full of, and it's mostly like summary. It's like dripping wet. You walk into Rapture and blah blah blah. I'm like, I played the game. I know what happens.
I got it. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, so there wasn't any riveting insights then.
There's not a lot of insight, and that's it feels overwhelmingly like this person really wanted to get the first, kind of scholarly, not scholarly, but like popular, going beneath the surface discussion about narrative and video game book out there, and he did, but it doesn't go very far beneath the surface.
Why don't you do it then, Duke?
I'm working on a book about video games, but I mean, what can I say about Skyrim that hasn't been said already?
It's all right.
No, we were saying talk about really good stories in games.
I see what you did there. Well, there's other things about Skyrim besides the story.
Well, yeah, but it'd be interesting because it's not about story, is it? Like, your love for Skyrim isn't story. It's the environment, isn't it? I mean,
exactly.
Look,
so you can read what I've written so far, and when I finish it up, I wish I had started. Darren asked in the chat, "What is your favorite video game story?" I said once upon a time when Thumbsticks was a website, I wrote for them about video game story, and I said that Mass Effect 1 and 2 I think had the best story of any games. Because I think that although it's a fairly standard notion of like, here come these Reapers to destroy all existence, the characters' involvement with each other and the directions that story goes, I think are very compelling. And they tell it well. BioWare knows how to tell a story.
So what's yours, Chinny? Favorite story?
It's got to be... See, like, Paul 2 isn't really much of a story, really. Like,
there's a chapter in this book about it, though.
Person gets trapped in a thing... They get out, like, it's not like the
silent protagonist, though.
Yeah, whatever. I don't like silent protagonists. So I think I'll give it to Red Dead. Maybe GTA 4. GTA 4's close. But I think Red Dead 2 is probably.
Yeah, I think for me it's got to be the Last of Us 2.
Yeah, Last of Us 2.
Last of Us story.
Last of Us 2, I think is
for a great story for the top spot, and then I think following that, I'd probably agree Red Dead Redemption probably following that.
Because like The Witcher. I like The Witcher, but it's
it's got stories within a story, and that's the difference. The overarching narrative is okay, but it's
kind
not
of like a bit like corny. You know what I mean? The Witcher, but I like that. I think that's fine. But
there's nothing wrong with the story in Witcher 3. It's not. And so here's two questions though. One is, when you can't just talk about one story in a game. Most games have a whole bunch of stories, right? Skyrim has hundreds of stories based on this quest and that quest line, the Dark Brotherhood and the companions and all the rest of it. Same with The Witcher 3. And then the question is, even with Red Dead 2 and The Last of Us Part 2, I would even put this up there as a question. Does it really feel different because you're playing it? Or if it were a movie, the TV series, is the story in the Last of Us TV series substantially different from the experience of playing it?
I don't think it is, apart from the fact that they have a couple of episodes devoted to stuff that you see off screen in the game, which is weird because when you think how long the game is compared to a TV show, you'd thought they'd have included stuff like that. But obviously, it's not interesting as a playing thing, is it? But it is.
Well, that's the thing, is most of the gameplay is just people fighting each other.
Yeah,
you can only have so much of that.
I think it is. I disagree with you, too. I think it is more meaningful to play it.
to play it. Why? I mean, we have a paired example in the case of The Last of Us Part 1 because we have the game, we have the TV show.
You're with them for more hours, I think.
That's true.
You're with them longer.
And that deepens the bond because they have little side conversations here and there.
Yeah, and also like you're not so much protecting Ellie, but the game is about protecting Ellie, but you're not like making sure she doesn't get shot. But like you know, you're going through there to kind of protect herself.
No, that's a fair point. You are responsible for her, even though you as the player, the character Joel is responsible for her. You as the player don't have to do a whole lot to be responsible for her. So anyway, there's a lot to be said, but I just don't think that most games have a substantially different story experience than a movie would, or a season of a TV show or something like that.
Well,
that's nothing.
Most games are trash stories.
Yeah, they are. I was going to say no, they don't. I think what most games these days, especially the story-driven games, are trying to do is to emulate those TV shows or movies.
Oh yeah,
or have some conviction as a player to affect what happens in that to an extent.
I'm not trying to say that a game is bad if it doesn't have some revolutionary story. I play games to have fun. And if a game has a decent story on top of that, great. I'm just saying that these books and these think pieces that appear on the internet about revolutionary storytelling techniques, most games really don't have that. There's very few games that
no, they don't. And
BioShock is one that has a legitimately innovative story concept in it.
Yeah, I do think as well, to an extent, currently, I think we're in a bit of a stagnation period, if I'm going to be honest. Because I feel like that although stories are getting better, graphics are only incrementally getting better now. You know what I mean? It's not a huge leap from something we had 3 years ago or 4 years ago now to something
what are you saying there, Stu, is we peaked at Heavy Rain?
I think we peaked at Heavy Rain.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I do feel like, apart from VR, right, and I know you hate VR, Duke, and Chinny, you're
Us? What are you talking about? We love VR. We're huge fans.
VR's the only thing at the moment that's doing anything substantially different. You could pick up a third-person shooter now and play one from 5 years ago, and they're not going to be that different, even graphically.
Whereas a VR game from 2023 is wildly different from a VR game in 2020.
It's a wildly different input. The way you actually...
Let me tell you something, yes, Stu. When the first VR... this wave of VR that we're playing now? Do you know when it started?
Probably about 5 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
So you're saying VR is like the new hot shit, and you're like...
I'm not saying it's
new
hot
shit.
You
said VR is the latest hot shit, and I'm going to divorce Kay and marry.
They're doing innovative things in
VR.
Doing
something
it's 10 years old, Stu. It's fucking over. The dream's over.
Than what consoles are doing currently.
Stu, it's over. You got to let go. You got to let go, Stu.
All right, let's talk about what we've been playing.
What you've been playing.
Because that way we don't have to hear about VR, because I can tell you Stu has not played VR. It's gone. Had its moment. Now it's gathering dust in the corner.
VR.
Or you could prove me wrong.
I could. Well, eventually I think it might do, but it's going to be a while.
Not this week.
Not this week.
Okay. Who's going first? Am I going first?
Hey, by the way, talking of VR, can I just say, talking of VR and things gathering dust. When was the last time you saw a news story on Apple's VR thing?
Well,
they're just simmering beneath the surface.
It's simmering nowhere. That's what that thing's doing. No one cares.
All right. So I played a game called Rocket League, which is a lot of fun. I don't have anything to say about it, so I'm going to move on. I mentioned last week that I had started playing Eliza.
Oh, God,
and I finished Eliza the day. I think I finished it that same night.
Oh, God, I'm very worried. I don't know whether that's worrying or not. That sounds good because it means that you powered through.
Or it means that it was very compelling and I was...
that's what I mean. It means that you powered through because you were enjoying it,
Here's one thing I can say without hesitation, having finished Eliza.
Oh, God.
I don't like visual novels.
No, fair enough.
It is not my genre.
And this is a visual novel. There is no real gameplay at all.
This is a visual novel, and it's a well-made visual novel. Like, this is among the top 5 VNs of all time, I'd say, probably. Most people would agree with that.
That's pretty impressive.
No, that's the world's
Duke, can I stop you there? Can I stop you
Yes.
there, Duke? You said VN, and that really gave me...
Visual novel.
Yeah, that made me throw up a little bit. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm just being honest.
Visual novel every time because it's a lot longer.
TY. Sorry,
So
thank you.
for those who don't know, Eliza is a visual novel where you play a person named, I can't remember her name, Shannon.
And it's a
Elizabeth,
long time since I
Susan.
played it.
Anyway, you play this character named Susan or whatever, and you serve. So there's this AI therapy interface called Eliza, so named in honor of the very first AI therapist program that was created in like the 1970s or something. It was a long time ago. And so the company, Sanctica, whatever it's called, has humans acting as proxies. So you're supposed to just read what's on the screen. And because it's you reading it out as a human, the customers presumably feel more connected because they're hearing it from people, even though the human is just repeating whatever the robot says.
Yeah,
Now,
that's pretty much it.
as you can imagine, this has all sorts of deep, profound implications for how you as a human being relate to other human beings. And I think that's what they want you to feel. It's clear from the very start of the game that at some point you're going to be tempted or have the option to go off script. Right, because the robot's going to say one thing, and even your first client is this dude who's like really not doing well, and the robot is telling you to say, "It sounds like you're upset," and the guy's like, "Yeah, I'm fucking upset. No one's willing to have a conversation with me. How about like you right here? Will you have a conversation with me?" And the robot says to say, "What would you like to have a conversation about?" And it's clear that you're just so whatever. That's fine. It's not a big deal. I made a lot of notes. I'm not going to go through all the notes, but there's so much I could say about this game. The one thing, the best thing about this game is that the characters are interesting, and you get to see the same clients returning again and again and again. So, for instance, there's one character named Maya who she hit me real hard because she's trying to make it as an artist, and every time she comes in, she talks about how like, I make all this art, I devote all this time to it, and nobody even gives a shit. And I'm just sitting there going, are you like seeing me through the computer screen there? And, like, you can tell that I've written 6 books and sold like 12 copies of some of them. Not that I'm not grateful for that, but
I bought 3 of those.
Like,
yeah,
there's a soul crushing aspect to trying to get a novel published by a legit publisher, which I've been doing this summer. And anyway, so Maya, the character Maya, I can really connect to her. There's this other character who is a friend of yours, and once upon a time you both worked on Eliza, and then this other person you worked with died. You don't know why, but this friend of yours went off to become a musician, and you go to a show of hers. And then there's the guy who used to run the company, and now there's this new dude who runs the company, and you get to know all these people. And then at the end of the game, I guess I should give a spoiler alert for Eliza, even though, whatever.
Warning, warning, warning.
You have to sort of decide which path you're going to go down. And that's not the game I thought I was going to get. I thought that the game part was going to have to do with helping people out or like risking something of myself in order to, actually provide connection with people. And I did that. I don't know if you did that, Stu, or not. Did you go off script when you had the chance?
Totally.
Yeah,
of course I did.
Most people would.
But you don't have to.
Clearly the right thing to do.
But you don't have to, do you?
But the crazy thing is, if you do that, you get kicked out of the line. The company is like, get the fuck out.
Well, of course, because you're not following the company line, are you?
Right. But then I took the path that allowed me to be friends with Ray. And when you do that, you because you become friends with Ray. And I did that because she is basically Aro, and I get the sense that my character is Aro, as in aromantic, as in not interested in romantic connectivity. And then I meet up again with the very desperate guy at the end of the game, and because I've decided I'm going to try to become an actual therapist, I'm like actually helping him out. And it's a nice feeling to, make a connection with a human being. And it's all about like, okay, I guess maybe trying to fix the whole world with one computer program isn't the way to go. Instead, it's better to try to make one-on-one connections with people.
Well, that's the whole point of the game, in my opinion.
Well, but not necessarily though. Not necessarily though. It depends on which path you take.
I suppose.
And I have to say, the idea that you're going to make a difference in the world by connecting one-on-one, like what kind of loser devotes his life to trying to connect like with young people or like students? What a Door.
No, but the problem is with
Nerd.
Eliza. The problem with Eliza is that it's just one answer. It can't deviate really very well.
That's because it's not really an AI. As someone in the game even says, all Eliza is doing is just a new fancy version of what the original Eliza did, which is looks at what you're saying and then just turns whatever you say into a question. That's not really AI. ChatGPT.
No, but what I'm
better.
saying is, it's not. Ultimately, it doesn't do a very good job of being a therapist.
Oh no, absolutely
And that's ultimately the point of the game, is it? Because you know as the player that you've got to go off script because the actual AI is not.
Right.
Eliza is not doing a very good job of it. It's
Right,
not really
but the
helping.
question, but then the question becomes: could you make it better and actually provide something worthwhile for humanity? Which is an interesting proposition, right? Like the idea that you could maybe get it to work better and actually help people is an interesting idea. Now
Yeah,
that's
I
not what
suppose-
happens if you go down that path of like I'm going to keep working on.
I don't know,
Eliza.
because if
Something
you flip
very
it,
different happens.
it's on its head, I suppose you could also say that when a person does it because they can't detach themselves from their feelings, are they giving the best advice? I don't know.
Well, and that comes back to this question Chinny said once upon a time about AI. It can't create things on its own, which then leads to the question, well, what does it mean to create something? Have you ever created something? Have I created something?
You misquoted me there, Duke.
Okay, what did you say?
AI can create, but it can't innovate. Much in
Okay, fine.
2023.
Can you innovate?
Yeah.
Have you? What's something you've innovated?
This remote control.
What does it mean to innovate that remote control?
Well, it used to be over there.
So
And now
you're
it's
saying a
over
robot
here.
can't pick something up and move it across the room?
I don't see any robots in here doing that.
Well, no, the difference.
Anyway,
I mean, you
the
could
point
get
is-
into a long philosophical conversation.
Well,
about this.
exactly. And that's what I thought I was going to get. But I did not get that. Instead, I got kind of a choose your own adventure, which is like, which of these people do you connect with most and want to hang out with? Is it the free-spirited musician or is it the psychopathic dude who wants to put everyone into the matrix with his weird dream software that jacks into your brain? Well, I don't think that's the way I want to go.
That
actually,
sounds
but
like the
thank
guy I want to hang around with.
I guess, but I do think it does delve into some of those themes and topics throughout the game. I think it does.
I think
do that.
it dips its toes into those topics.
Yeah,
I
I think it
wanted it to
does.
delve into them, but I just think it kind of like splashes around on the surface, and I was so eager for it to go further.
I guess, but
Um,
then you want it to appeal to, a reasonable audience. So you've got to be careful how far you go down the rabbit
So you're
hole.
saying I'm not a reasonable audience? Huh?
No. I mean a
No.
reasonable amount of
Not a
people to
reasonable
play
human
the game.
Well,
being.
you're
Well,
saying
well,
most people are too stupid to follow an
Yeah, but
actual
most-
philosophical discussion.
No. You're
gamers-
stupid enough as well.
I mean, Chinny, for instance, as an average gamer, would this interest you?
He would never
in
play
the
this game in
Are you
any
fucking
fashion.
joking?
Full stop.
Stu, I've
Exactly.
looked at the screen and I have to check if I'm playing the video, because it's just
sitting
still.
there. No, look at the text on the left side, Chinny.
I
It's
can't
scrolling
read
slightly
text.
when he talks. Now, here's the question, Chinny. Do you want to have to click a button every time your character says something and every time the other character says something?
The
And
only-
keep in mind, while they're talking, if you want them to hurry up and finish what they're saying so you can just read it faster than they're saying it, you have to click once for them to finish talking and then again for it to proceed.
The only
I
way
got
that this
purple-
game would interest me is because at the moment the view for the audio listeners is you're just looking at
Some
this
guy
man
just-
looking sad on a chair, right?
He is sad. He needs therapy.
And the only way this game would be interesting to me is if like a gun got pulled up first person view, and I was like, right, can we shoot this guy? Is this fine? By the way, Stu,
Puts client out of misery.
do you have a guess at when you played this game? I looked in the database.
A long time. This is a long time ago.
Have a
game.
guess.
This
Have a guess.
is,
Give
okay.
a guess a year. Guess a year.
I'm gonna say I think I played this game in. I'm gonna go 2017.
I played 2019, September 24th.
Yeah, is it
September
really only that
2019.
long? I thought it was longer ago.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
So I'm glad I got the chance to be a counselor because I think that's really what my character wanted, and that's a good path forward. I thought there were some really interesting aspects to it. I think I'm confident in saying this is the last time I'll ever play a visual novel.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
I would not give it a thumbs down, but it's not really a very enthusiastic thumbs up either. Like it's worth playing, I guess, if you like visual novels, but I can't recommend it.
And
to
if you
someone who
like visual
doesn't like
novels, why? What are you doing? What are you doing with yourself? What's the
It
matter?
has
with
got. I mean, to give it its due, it has got a fairly decent story and characters.
you? Read a book.
Yeah, well, that's
I
what
don't
it
even know
is.
if I'd call it fairly decent. I would say it's okay.
No, I think it's
To me,
pretty.
it
I
did
think
not
you're
feel-
being a bit of a disservice there. I think it's better than okay.
You're allowed to think what you
Yeah,
think about the
that is
story.
absolutely
I'm telling you
true.
what I think about the story.
That is
and I
true.
was not blown away by the story. So,
That is fine.
for whatever
That
it's
is
worth.
fine.
But I'm glad I played it. I like Zachtronics. They've made a lot of other great games, so I'm looking forward to see what they do next.
I'll go next because I'm going to talk about another very heavily story-driven video game.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay,
Call of Duty
because
17.
I played the Devil in Me demo, which I've been eyeing up for a while. To
The
be fair.
devil in me.
The
I
devil
don't know what that-
in
Is
me.
that
like
based
a
on the NXS song?
It is an
Ever seen
NXS
Stuart
song.
has the devil
Sounds like
inside?
a Bond movie.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Did you know it is a Bond movie as well?
Mm.
But this is the final part of the Dark Pictures anthology. And
Oh,
I've
yeah.
played all of these games.
Okay. I'm no longer curious. Go on.
And I quite like them. And I've been eyeing this up for a while, but it hasn't got cheap enough yet for me to pull the trigger.
Because
How much is it?
you're cheap.
Cheap for me. Cheap enough for me for this would
How
be.
much is it, Stu?
It's about 16 quid at the moment, so it's still too expensive.
Tenner? Would that do?
Yeah, if it got down to a tenner,
Ooh, that's sweet.
I would pull.
And
a
how many
trigger.
hours do you expect? How many hours does each?
You
of the
don't
other
get a
ones?
lot out of these games. I'm reckoning about probably
Okay.
6-7 hours. They're not usually overly long. But they tend to be pretty good. You know what I mean? They have a decent story usually. The graphics are pretty good. They look like the actors. So
I
they
have
do
a really
pretty-
good time playing. I just don't want to pay what they're asking.
Yeah, I just don't want to play what
I don't
they're
want to
asking.
give anybody that money for their hard
Stingy
work.
Stuart,
And it-
Stuart the stingy lad.
And I have a little issue with all of these games, right? Because they do this trying to look hyper realistic. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
look
almost
at the dead
like-
rat on the screen there.
Heavy rainish. You know what I mean? They're going for that heavy rain look.
Yeah.
They're
It
like,
looks,
"Oh,
it looks
look at-"
better than Heavy
Is
Rain.
that the
though.
problem, Stu? You just
Oh,
can't
yeah, it
handle it.
It does, but
It's
that's
too
what they're kind of
intense.
going for.
Yeah,
But they just have this dead eye issue.
yeah.
There's still this massive dead eye issue. What happens is, if the character's not interacting on screen or doing something, it just stands staring off into the distance like a mannequin waiting to be activated. And I think that's.
Do you think they could remedy that by pulling the camera away a little bit? Like they're.
I've
too
no
close on their
idea,
faces?
and they all suffer from this same thing. Most of the time, you don't really notice it. It's when you either come to the end of a cutscene and you haven't quite taken control of the character yet, or in sort of times when they're just stood doing nothing, they have this
Yeah.
weird glazed eye expression, which you can see here on screen now. But they're usually pretty well crafted. The acting's always superb because you always get like proper actors to play the parts a lot of the time. People that have been in TV shows or movies or whatever, and they always have decent actors.
Which is
Like
weird,
Matt
isn't it? Why would you get an actor to do an actor's job? Because when I got a plumber the other day, I just hired a street sweeper. I was like, bloody hell, why would I hire a real plumber to do a plumber's job?
Yeah.
Speaking of
No.
plumbers, we watched the Super Mario Brothers movie last night.
All
It was
right,
very
I'll
fun.
change. I'll
It's good.
change what I said. They get credible actors,
They get actors-
rather.
Will Poulter.
Yeah. So,
Will
yeah,
Poulter.
they get people who've done other stuff other than video games and sort of anime voiceovers.
Yeah.
So you tend to get more credible actors.
Are you shitting on anime voiceover artists?
So
Sometimes.
you hate Melissa Hutchinson then, huh?
Yeah.
I do. I hate her. So yeah, the caliber.
No wonder she's never come back on the show.
Exactly.
Yeah, really.
The caliber they get is usually pretty good. They're usually well made, and they're usually just a bit of fun. They're kind of like a popcorn movie game. I would classify this as.
Yeah.
But as for the demo, it gives you the very first part of the game. So that's kind of where it starts. So you get the first chapter of the game.
Oh,
which is-
Paul Kay is in this.
Yeah, there you see. That's what I mean. There's
Do you know who
decent-
Paul Kay is?
Sort of, I think.
Paul
Isn't he the-
Kay.
Isn't he the comedian dude?
He's Dennis Pennis.
Yeah, Dennis Pennis. He does all right. He does quite
He
a
was
lot of
in.
stuff.
He was in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he does a lot of stuff.
Who was he in Game of Thrones?
He was. I'll
This is very important and worth.
I'll get back to you on that one.
Come on,
hijacking
come on.
Stu's discussion. Go ahead, Stu.
So yeah, it starts off back in the sort of ages, as it were. So it's obviously back in time, and you've just
Back
got married,
Time.
and you go to this dodgy hotel, and it's the hotel of the fur at the end of the world, or some weird name it's got. I don't know. It's got some weird shit name going on. And you go in there, and he's like, "Oh, I've come for a room," and the guy's like, "Oh, have you just got married?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, I'll give you the honeymoon suite."
All right.
and he's like, "Oh, how much is that gonna cost?" And he's like, "Don't worry, it's free."
I don't think
So
you do
it's-
voice acting, do you?
Yeah.
So the problem is,
He was Duke. He was Thoros of Mur.
That does not help me even
Yeah.
a little bit. I would have thought.
So-
you could tell me something
Sorry
about
about
relationship.
that.
So at this point, I was already worried for the characters because I'm like, this dude's giving him a free upgrade to the honeymoon suite, and he looks as creepy as all
Yeah,
hell.
nobody wants that for nothing.
Yeah, so something's going on here. Something's going down.
Duke, I'll put him on the
Uh,
screen. Put him on the screen.
I'm gonna steal your butt.
So
while you're
you get
sleeping.
upstairs, right, and she's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna." And obviously, the bathroom's not in the room because he's back in the day. He didn't have ensuite
that
back
guy.
then.
Yes.
Yeah, that's who it is. You didn't have ensuite back then, so the bathroom's down the hall or whatever. So she's
Sure.
like all teasy, going, "Hey, I'm gonna go for a bath. I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna powder my nose and all this shit."
Oh
right?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So off she goes to powder her nose.
Dead.
In the bath, minding her own business. Owner appears. She thinks it's you, right? Gives her a bit of a shoulder
Oh, does she have sex with the
massage.
owner?
No, shoulder massage. And she's like, "Oh, I knew you couldn't stay away," and all this shit.
Yeah.
Next thing, he's dunking her under the bathwater. You know what I mean? Her head.
How did
is
you know, Chinny? Have
full
you
on-
played this game
Up to
before?
the dunking under the bathwater.
about
It
innovative
sounded like a
story.
Carry-On movie, Stu.
Tit.
Oh, I'm only going to the bathroom.
No, that's what it was like. That's what it was like. So as the husband, you're like, "Oh, what's going on? Oh, Kate." I think she's called Kate. I don't know. She's called something. I don't know.
Are you sure
No.
about that?
Oh no, I'm really sad.
So
My
you go
wife, whatever her
running-
name is, I don't know.
You go running down, right? And then he comes out with a knife attacking you or whatever, right? then
Oh,
you go,
snap.
you jump through a doorway hiding, then the fucking room thing locks on you, and then you're in like a corridor. And then the
Didn't
next
you
thing
go, oh, a knife, Mr. Mayor, not you? Is that a knife in your hand? Or are you pleased to
"Oh,
see
Mr.
it?
Mannering. And then the
Ooh.
next thing you know, mustard gas coming out the ceiling, and that's
no.
it, you're a
Oh
goner.
my god.
Yeah. So he fucks you up as well, and that's it. That's the end of the demo. It's like, play the rest of the game. I'm like, not yet. It's
So
not
you
a 10.
die at the end of the demo. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
everyone dies.
Everybody dies.
Yeah, apart from the dude in the hotel, and then it finishes with another couple coming in to book in. I'm like, get out
Wow.
of there. He's gonna
Yeah,
he's
really.
gonna fuck you up.
I tell you
What
what,
a lovely place. Look at the chandelier.
And
place
this
is
was
lovely.
actually there was kind of a cool bit, right?
Get out.
So-
Too bad we can't stay.
So he's got in the foyer of the hotel. He's got a jewelry stand where he's selling stuff, right? So he's
And
selling
he stole
toiletries.
off of people who he
Yeah,
killed.
so when he comes down, he has the wedding and engagement ring off a finger and puts him in his
Wow, that's
stand to
harsh.
sell.
I bet,
And
I
I'm
bet,
like, I like that.
I bet their Google reviews are shit.
Parents
yeah, I
murdered.
bet they are.
The
Worst
parents are
one
like,
ever.
my daughter went here, never came back. 3-star, the food was pretty good.
There's no reviews because no one ever comes out.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
family.
but I like the fact he's selling the rings, so he gets a bit of cash off everyone who comes in. That is selling all the stuff off that he's nicked
In addition
off
to the
the-
money that he took off of
Yeah,
them
the
for
guests that
room,
he's killed. Yeah,
let
exactly.
them
I like it.
enjoy.
I like it. He's got a good business plan, is what I think.
I really don't
Uh,
think that's very sustainable.
No, maybe not. But I quite liked it. I kind of liked it. It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
I
So,
liked it enough to put it on my wish list, and we'll
It's on
play
my
it when
wish
it's
list. When
cheap.
it's a tenner, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
So
I think a
there you
better
go.
business
that
plan
much.
would be to let them stay and charge them for their stay.
No, he does that because it's money up front, and then he obviously
Oh.
kills them. Then he takes all the shit off them. Then he sells that to people as they're coming in the hotel, and then gets
And then he
more
takes
cash.
his
So
stuff back off of them after he kills them and
Exactly.
sells it again.
Yeah, exactly. It's,
Does
a,
he,
it's a
uh,
whole cash grab.
Does he have like a marketing team saying, okay, what you want to do is resell to old customers? They're the easiest customers. And he's like, about that,
Yeah, a
that's
bit of a
gonna
problem.
be gonna
Bit
be
of a
tricky
problem,
because I
that.
kill them all.
So yeah, so he's a pretty.
And he
he's a
doesn't
bit of
pay
a psycho.
taxes because when the tax man
He doesn't
comes,
pay
he's
taxes.
just like,
He just kills him, yeah.
cuts their
The
heads
trouble
off,
is
yeah.
though. The
And then
trouble
he
is
sells
though,
the tax money that he had stolen.
The trouble is though, because no one ever actually buys anything. His jewelry stand just gets bigger and bigger and bigger because obviously
Yeah, it
he's,
does.
you know, just keeps filling it up, but no one ever buys anything.
This doesn't sound very sustainable.
No, because it's just going to end up with too much shit. He needs to offload some of that stuff. You know, maybe let someone leave every once in a while.
There you go.
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
a
how you get your
percentage.
reviews up. Every 10th person you let
Yeah,
them
kill a
live, and then they go,
percentage of the-
there's
of the
blood everywhere,
customers.
and the ring he was selling had a finger in it, but the food was great. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. The
All
meat
right, anything else
tasted
about
like
the devil
pork.
in me?
No, it's pretty good. It seemed pretty good. I reckon I'll definitely play this when
Their
it's a 10.
eggs Benedict was top draw.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'll play it when it's a
Raw
10.
pig.
There you go. You can't get a better review than that.
yeah.
Ginny, what have you been up to? Oh, okay then.
Well, I did play a game.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
But I played.
What game is that?
It wasn't a video game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was Sorry, I got Oreos in my teeth.
Oh, okay. I wonder what you were doing.
No, that's my penis. I've just got my penis out as well. So the game that we played was one of these mystery games. You know these mystery games where you've got like
an escape room or
kind of, but no, it's like you play at home, and
oh, I got you.
so you got a pack
You're
of
trying
documents.
to figure out who, like Secret Hitler is one of them.
Okay. So it was
I feel like he just made that up, but maybe he didn't. Who knows?
I don't know.
No, there's a board game called Secret Hitler.
Wow.
I don't know what it was
Somebody in
called.
the chat, vouch for me.
The gist of it was there'd been a murder, and the detective was like, "Oh, I'm going on holiday. You take care of it. So you've got to take care of it." And the first document you read, and it's like, "Oh, this is blah blah blah. Oh, you need to read my emails. This is my email. This is my email account, but the password is the favorite animal from this and that, and then this and that, and like, just tell me the fucking password, mate. Like it's not.
But that's
anyway,
the whole game, man.
yeah. So then you read the emails, and then you start to like uncover, like, you've got a list of suspects.
So can I just say, is there an email address online, a webmail that you have to go to, or is it just in the game? Oh, that's cool.
So you go to a website, you log in, you find the password. So you've got emails on your phone that you check, which have attachments and videos and stuff, but you've also got physical papers and stuff like that. So the whole story was about that a guy had been found in a bin at the back of a casino in Vegas.
All right, okay.
Side note, this is not related to my trip to Vegas recently.
Yeah, it's a real story, actually. It wasn't
I have
a game
a
at all.
complete alibi, right? Anyway.
Other side note, would anyone like to buy some jewelry that Chinny brought
Anybody
back?
want to? So then you find out, like, you have a police report of the person that emptied the trash out last. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And so then you're like,
that's a suspect.
Okay. Well, yeah, it might be, but the contents of the trash that he described, he says, "Oh, what's in the trash?" And he was like, "Oh, it was this, this, and this," was correct. And those trash bags were underneath him. So then you go, okay, and it gives you a time. It's like, yeah, I definitely put the trash out at 10:45. So now you know that he was not in the bin.
Put the body out until 11:30. I mean,
So now you know that he wasn't in the bin at 10:45, and then he was discovered whenever. So like there was basically like a 10-minute window where he could be in. Sure. But then I was like, well, just because he was in the bin doesn't mean he got shot in the bin. Right. Like, or it doesn't mean he died at that time. He could have died earlier. Right. And you figure things out, and then you figure it, and you've got like police recordings, you've got like audio recordings, you've got like a Zoom call that you have to watch, and
so this is a legit multimedia thing.
Yeah, so there's everything. There's loads of stuff, and there's
was this just you, or was this you, Tara?
So me, Tara's brother Nathaniel, and Nathaniel's partner Arena. So we were playing this, and it was, you know what? Sorry, I've just got Google on the screen, haven't I? I don't know why. You know what?
Like he's planning on showing us something soon.
No, I haven't got I got nothing.
You have to use this website to figure out these puzzles. It's called
Google. So it was kind of like a mystery solving thing. I don't know. I can't remember what it was called. But
it was mystery adventure game.
It's just kind of like a mystery.
Cool if it was just called mystery solving thing.
I think I might have Googled it recently.
Yeah, if anyone wants to buy this, it's called mystery solving thing.
Yeah, mystery solving thing for the thing. I've still got the Las Vegas police login on my phone there, so.
But just in case anything else comes up.
Just in case they want me back. Just in case.
Because it's a real thing. It was really, you were just helping the Las Vegas police.
Yeah.
It's to do their thing.
It's like Ender Game.
Pretends. Yeah, it's like Ender's Game.
It's like that movie called The Game.
So it was good. I enjoyed it. It was about 2.5 hours. It was fun. It was tricky. At one point, we were like, "This is definitely the guy." So one example was like, "Oh, we think it's Bobby LaFay, right? It's got to be Bobby LaFay, because he was at another hotel, which is very close. He had no alibi and he had a motive because he was in he went to jail because of Charlie Young and all this sort of stuff. The guy who was murdered. I
Revenge.
was like, it's
motive.
got to be him. It's got to be him. And then you get an email saying, or you see an email saying, oh, just bumped into Bobby LaFay, right, at this hotel. And you're like, that's the hotel that's by the hotel where he died. It's got to be him.
Yeah.
And then you look into a newspaper clipping and there's an advert for the hotel chain. And there's one in Vegas and there's one in Denver. And she sends a picture of the hotel where she's like, oh, staying here at this hotel, just bumped into Bobby LaFay. And it's the one in Denver.
he's in
So he's in
Denver.
Denver. He's not in Vegas. So you could
so
easily
couldn't
get...
have been
It's
him.
Yeah. So it could have
Unless
been
he had
him.
a twin brother.
No.
Couldn't have
he
been
did
him.
Every
not.
magic trick has 3 parts to it. Sorry.
So, yeah, you got to make it disappear. That's my fucking bird, Michael Caine. What are you doing? Anyway, so I enjoyed it. I forgot what it was named. It was some mystery fucking game that you
How
play.
much?
I think they're £20, but we
20 pounds.
but
oh
like
my God!
Nathaniel's partner got them on eBay for £15 because you
Alright.
play them once it's over. Do you know
Well,
what I mean?
yeah,
It's-
exactly.
So there you are.
Pass it around
So
the group of
not
friends.
quite a video game, but I enjoyed it. It
Well,
was
there were video components. It
it
sounds
was
like.
really really good.
Cool. That sounds like fun. All right, is it back to me then?
Sure.
All right. Or why don't we all talk?
At the same
I don't
time.
know. Yeah. Shall we just
Yeah,
do
all at the
that?
same time. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go.
Okay,
Oh,
okay, Paradise is Warrior. Yeah. Play my game, bitch.
Wow.
To be honest,
This
that
is
was
the part
that
of
was
the
like a
game-
normal show. Like,
Yeah, it was.
This is the part of the show where we talk about a game that we all played.
oh yeah.
And hopefully you all played it too, so you have your own thoughts. Hopefully someone sent us some speak pipes and stuff about
Who
their
knows?
experiences.
Who
knows? But yeah. So and we may have some progress on the. I haven't checked my email in days. Look at all this shit. Anyway,
And we got some
right, so we
Discord
played-
comments as well by it because
Oh,
we now
sweet.
have a thread on the Discord called Play My Game Bitch.
Play my
So
game,
every
bitch.
week we got to announce what we're playing, and then they can dump
Yeah.
their thoughts on the Discord channel.
And we have a thread about that on the Discord, and we have a Discord about that on the threads. All right. So
That was very good, dude. I
Master-
enjoyed that. I enjoyed that.
That was great.
Yeah, I thought that was really fun.
Arcade Paradise is the name of the game. Have you ever thought about how cool it would be to stare at a washing machine and count the seconds down until
Okay,
it finished?
explain what it is, please, Duke, for us.
You are
Yes.
a person
Yes.
named Ashley. Is that right?
I don't know.
can't
Your
remember.
dad does not believe in you, and he has sentenced you because you flunked out of business school. You have been sentenced to work in purgatory, aka his shitty laundromat.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
So you
first
have to
person.
go
It's a
around-
first person game.
It is first person.
You have to the first thing you should do if you play this game is go into the settings and increase the sensitivity for the mouse or the joystick, because otherwise you move very slowly.
I never noticed that.
No, it will fine.
Oh god, it was driving me nuts. You have to take the laundry and put it in the washing machine, and then it'll go for 2 minutes. And then when it's done, your watch will go beep beep, and you have to go take the laundry from the washing machine and put it in the dryer.
You don't
And
wait
let
for
it
your
run
watch to go if you want to get the maximum money, man. You have to wait for it to
I'm
come and
s-
then you do it yourself. Oh,
Well,
my
we'll talk about maximum money in a second. Here's the thing. In the back of the laundry, there are some video games. And you can play these video games, but what you find out is that those video games are making more money than the laundromat is.
The arcade machines, yeah.
Well, it doesn't appear
Right.
that way.
It doesn't appear that way. It does on the first day because the money's just been accumulating. And so
Yeah.
you get like $80 from one machine. You're like, holy shit, these are awesome. Because you get $30 per load of laundry if you do it quickly.
Yeah, that's right.
If you do it slowly, you get $5, and it goes. Wah, wah, wah. So there's this whole thing where you're chatting with your sibling or something, and it's all set in the 1980s, so it's very rudimentary email and rudimentary chat and all this. Yeah, and eventually you buy new video game cabinets to put in this back room.
You do.
You save up the money, and then your sister works at like City Hall or something, so she gets these forms and gets your dad to sign off on them because he doesn't even pay attention to what he's signing apparently. Which I don't know why she doesn't do power of attorney then and just be like, I have all your money now. Fuck you, dad. But you turn it into a proper arcade.
That's right. You expand the size of it. You make it bigger,
Yeah.
and then you can
What
collect
did y'all
more
think about
cash.
this?
I didn't get that far, to be honest. Like that's gonna
Yeah.
sound like I'm gonna hate on the game or something. But I didn't have a lot of time to play it. But I did play.
It was just 1 week. We didn't have much time. It was.
I did play. I did play enough to do the. I got my second arcade machine in there.
Yeah.
So
No,
then I got the
played
option
it-
to buy the extra space. I haven't done it though.
Yeah, I played it until I bought the extra space, and then I was
me too.
like, and then when I looked at the stuff, to expand it further, you're then given
Yeah.
tasks to do, and you
Right.
get pounds, and then you get this like eBay thing where you
Yeah.
can make yourself look better, which I think is pointless because you can never see yourself. So I don't know what the point of that is.
Well, maybe at some point you will.
Maybe, but part of that then is to actually play the arcade games,
Right. Right.
and you've got to get to
And
certain
I'll say
levels.
this. The games are kind of cute. There's
Yeah, they're
one
good.
that's kind of like a cross between a Pac-Man and a GTA.
Yeah, I like that
and
one.
I didn't realize when you get busted, you're on your feet and it just
You
says
can run. Yeah.
And I didn't realize you could run back to your car and
Yeah.
then you start playing the game.
I thought
you were
that
just
I thought that
doing
was really good. I thought that was a good take
it
on
was
it. Yeah.
good. I was impressed by that game.
Yeah.
But they're all retro style games,
Yeah.
and they're not fun for very long. And that's a good thing because just about the time when I was figuring out that GTA Pac-Man game, my watch would go beep beep.
Yeah, you
gotta
don't
go
have
deal
time
with
to
that person's
play them.
laundry.
No, you
yeah,
don't.
You don't have
exactly.
time to play
and of
them.
course, every time you start playing, it starts all over. So even if you get to level 4,
Yeah, but there's all sorts of other busy work to do because you've got to get rid
Right.
of the gum, you've got to pick up
Yep.
all the rubbish, you've
Clean
got
the
to put
toilet.
you got to
the
clean out the
toilet.
toilet. Yeah,
You've got to put
exactly.
your money in the safe because if you don't put your
Yep.
money in the safe, you can't buy stuff.
I thought it would
Um,
be cool if you got jacked at one point while you were holding the money. As like you should have put it in the safe.
Yeah.
Because this laundry is scummy and the neighborhood is shit. So
Yeah.
it seems like a place that would be great to rob.
Yeah. I've never been to a laundromat before. I've never used one.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
We don't. They're not as big as a thing over here, are they, Stu? Laundromats, like.
No, I when I was a kid, my grandma used to go to the local laundry
Yeah.
to dry all the clothes and stuff. And
But they used to
that's
like
the,
manually do it themselves, didn't they, back in the day?
Yeah.
But
Go down
uh,
to the river and
yeah, well,
beat
more.
up the
They had like
rocks.
big like machines, and they do it themselves. But
Yeah, they looked a bit like what's on the screen here.
well,
basically.
the only
Yes.
laundromats that I know of really are like in student accommodations over here. Like they
Yeah.
have them there.
Yeah, sure.
But like for general public, they do exist. They have them at like petrol stations, don't they? Stu,
Yeah,
and
they
stuff
do.
like
I
that.
was just going to
But,
say
like,
that. They have
they
in weird and,
outside.
like,
They're outside as well.
supermarkets.
Yeah.
Yeah, supermarkets. They're
but,
in really weird places.
They're not really like a big thing in the UK.
Which
Correct
is
me if
funny
I'm
because
wrong.
I'm pretty sure this is a British developer because, like you said, it's Pound Bay, and they talk about the laundrette, and like there's a couple other things that indicate that it's. a
Back
British
in
developer.
there's quite an interesting story, but back in the 90s, I can't remember where it was, whether it was in
We'll be
Yorkshire
the judge of
somewhere.
how interesting it is.
But there was a laundry there, like a laundromat type of place, and they found out that you could play music 24 hours a day in laundries, right?
Oh yeah.
So they used it as a loophole to have like illegal raves or legal raves, as it turned out to
okay.
be. Because
Yeah.
he could get a DJ in there, and he was legally allowed to play music for 24 hours a day. So they used to have raves.
and
in
if the
them.
cops showed up, they would just
Yeah,
say,
they couldn't
"Fuck 'em,"
stop.
and
Yeah, they
their
couldn't-
law.
They couldn't. The cops at the time couldn't stop them. It was like a loophole in the law.
Speaking
that
of
found.
music, by
Yeah.
the way, I fucking hate the music in the laundromat area.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's supposed to
fuck.
be the worst.
Oh, I
and I think this is one of the
fucking
most
hate
interesting things about this game. The laundromat is this soul crushing place. The music is and you hear it over and over again. You're just like, make it stop. And then you go into the arcade area, and especially when
banging.
you expand it, it's banging. It's like cool lights. It's all dim, and the games
Yeah.
are fun. And it does a good job of replicating the experience of being someone who has actual responsibilities to do, but all you want to do is keep playing video games.
Yeah, I
So it's a
did you,
very
I like
meta
the
concept in that
there's like an insane in the brain knockoff songs and things like that, like songs that sound like
Yeah,
90s
right.
and
Songs
80s.
that sound like other songs.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, that's really close. That's really good, actually.
They
Um,
walk right up to the edge of copyright
Yeah,
infringement
yeah,
and then back away.
yeah.
So it's a mixed bag. I don't know if I had too much fun playing it, but I did get into the as soon as it was like, okay, you need $1,000 to expand the arcade. I was like, I'm gonna continue to that
Yeah,
point.
gonna grind
And
it out.
I got halfway there, and I was like, oh god, this
It doesn't
laundry
take that
shit is-
long. The other thing
It
that
doesn't take that long, but it's so tedious.
Yeah,
it
it is
is.
tedious. Yeah.
it is. What I
It's like
found,
3 days.
It is. What I thought was kind of interesting. I think it only took me 2, to be fair. But
Oh, fucking hell, big
I
fucking
just
professional
did
gamer.
more washing and clean more gum. Who knows?
Whoa.
Yeah, the one thing I thought was quite interesting is like it closes at 11 p.m. prompt,
Yeah.
apparently.
But you still
but
have laundry going.
Yeah, but I've managed to keep going till about 1:30 in the morning and still managed to get me $30 for the last load of laundry.
Well, you're going to get money for that last load, but you're not going to get more money in our arcade machines.
No, but you do.
That's what it means when it closes.
But what I found was if you leave it till the following day, it's only $5.
Yeah, you get a bad grade. And
yeah, so I was just like, oh, well, I might as well hang around and see when I actually faint because it tells you you're gonna faint.
I played it a bit more. I played it a bit more before today's show, and I was playing the arcade games till 2 a.m. and the game was like, go to bed or go home.
Yeah.
I like this game that's on the screen now. This kind of like cooking adventure game, which is like Puzzle Quest. Bejeweled meets.
Yeah, I played that for like 30 seconds. I was like,
this is
the box stacking one.
This was the game that I was like, I need to do my laundry, but I can't get off this game, you know. So yeah, it's interesting.
Which is an interesting experience.
You see, I did barely played any of the video games, hence why it probably only took me 2 days to because I was just doing all the laundry.
All right, Stuart, look, at a certain point, there's nothing you can do other than just watch the laundry go around because there's not more laundry coming in.
Yeah, no, but you can get in gum. You can be doing. There's always something else.
I did. I circled the place, got all the gum, got all the trash.
Yeah.
If you made a lot of money, that's great. There's a certain point at which that you just have time to kill, which again makes sense because it's a laundromat. And if you're going to manage a laundromat, that's a significant portion of your day, I would expect. So
yeah.
Well,
it was all right. I don't know whether I'll play much more of it, to be honest. So
I think I will. I think I'll play more.
I wrote kind of cool. That was all.
It's kind of cool. I've had my fill of washing though.
But I still don't know. Like I thought I would love this game.
It's just busy work. It's just busy work.
I know. But I thought I'd love it. I thought I'm gonna love this game. I don't know why. I'm just gonna love it. And I played it. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I like it. I don't know.
I think that there's really two games going on here. There is the tycoon game of building an arcade, which I think is what you thought you were going to get most of, Chinny.
Yeah.
And then there's managing a laundromat. Now, my guess is at a certain point, once the arcade is actually taking off, you can either hire someone to run the laundromat, or you can just say, fuck the laundromat and take it over your damn self.
I want to keep going with the laundromat. I want to earn maximum money. Do you know what I mean?
But they really, it makes sense if you're going to drudge through the first phase doing the laundromat stuff in order to get to that arcade tycoon thing. But at a certain point, it's like, let me just skip this laundry shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you made the cash.
It's a tricky game, isn't it? Because the whole point of the game is that the laundromat is the soul crushing part of the game. Yeah, but they have to like make it soul crushing for you to be like, get me fucking out of it. Yeah. Which is like putting people off playing the game at all. So it's a bit of a weird one. Sure. I think I'll keep playing it. I think I will keep playing
Interesting concept.
I do give it a thumbs up, but I don't think I'll keep playing it.
I would also give it a thumbs up, but it's kind of a mid thumbs. Like it's not a very enthusiastic thumbs up.
It's still a thumbs up, and it gets a triple thumbs up. Arcade Paradise.
Oh
wow. Hey, shall we read out what people thought of the game?
Yeah, what else did people think?
We got
people that we know
on Discord. We've got Pillow of Soft. And he said, I know, I've already had a turn. So I quite enjoyed Arcade Paradise, at least until I reached the point where I didn't have enough time to do my laundry. I didn't find the arcade games enjoyable enough. I want to keep playing them. And since you have a lot of to progress, I stopped. You have to play a lot to progress. I stopped. I knew cleaning gum. Who knew cleaning gum was so profitable? Ricey says, firstly, who the hell is trashing the place overnight? Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, I did think that because it's not you clean everything and then you come back.
You come back in the morning. Someone's just you
totally
got like bloody squatters
cool how
in there.
They handle the customers pretty well because they basically just like glitch in and glitch out.
Yeah,
which is nice because otherwise they'd be in your way when you're trying to pick up the trash and stuff. And it's
I like that. Yeah, I like that. So I grafted all day to clean it. Secondly, who comes to a laundrette, pays for tokens, and then waits around while the staff cleans their clothes for them? I didn't enjoy it. It just felt
every time I did a load of laundry, I was like, "Fuck you, do your own fucking."
It just felt like a hold A simulator. I also wasn't bothered about the arcade games. It made me feel sick, even with the first FOV field of view maxed out. But that's a me problem. Got halfway through day 3, walked out of that place and got the bus home, Ricey 55. So
I
that's
never
great.
came back. Never came back.
Yes. So, is that, did anybody else like email in about the game, or should we read it?
Not that I'm
Well,
aware
we'll get to that
of.
when we get to email and speak.
Yeah,
Punch.
not that I'm
Okay,
aware of.
but so if you want to join in on the old Play My Game bitch, where we play a game that's like sort of
Yeah.
new or on Game Pass or whatever, and we just talk about it for a little bit, join us.
Join
Yeah,
us.
I've got a
We'd love to know what you
suggestion.
think.
And do it in the
this week.
Discord. So
Okay.
yeah, you suggest it, Stu, and I'm going to type it in the Discord. Next,
Quake
week.
2 remake. I didn't realize this was a remake. I thought it was just just Quake 2, but it's not. Apparently, it's a remake.
So is it
So
on
there you go.
Game
Quake
Pass?
2, but
It's come out on
shiny
Game
new.
Pass this week.
Yes,
it's
it
not
is on
shiny
Game Pass.
new.
I just saw it and I was like, well, I don't know why anyone would want to play
So
Quake 2 now. but
next
it's a
week's Play My
remake.
Game bitch
Just-
is Quake 2 remake. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
by the same people who did the System Shock 2 remake. So
Okay.
that's who's
I'm
Okay.
pressing enter. Quake 2 remake. Bam. That is next week's Play My Game
about
bitch.
There you go.
All right, before the next video game that we talk about, I have something else to announce that I am
Uh-oh.
announcing to the world. This is a world premiere, people. I just finished something. I've been working on this cross stitch for 2 years, and just 2 minutes ago, I finished.
2 years. Jesus Christ, how big is this?
I don't know if I've mentioned
Wow.
this before. Have I talked about this at all? I don't think
No.
I have. It's called the ABCs of Minecraft.
Wow.
And I don't know if y'all know Minecraft well enough. You want to go through them real quick?
I'm guessing that's like an anvil or
A
something.
is for anvil.
B is for
Blaze.
blaze. Okay. C's
Ah,
creeper.
okay.
D's for diamond. E's for
Yes.
Enderman. Is it?
Enderman. Yeah. That's right.
Up. So these are like pictures of. Let me get you on big screen
That's
here,
right.
Duke.
Yeah.
D. Sorry. What are we on?
F
F
is
is
for-
for flint. G
Flint. Yep.
is for gold.
Gold, gold.
H is for Heart of the Sea.
Okay. Yeah. Wouldn't have got that.
Yeah,
I is for
Iron.
Iron.
Iron ingot. An iron ingot. Yep. J is for Jack o' lantern. Hello.
Okay.
All
Right.
right, okay.
K is for
Kale.
kelp.
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 Whatever.
Yes. L is
L.
for
Lava.
lava bucket. Yep.
I tell you what, I'm looking. So you got the icons of these things as you pick them up, and he's put them on a shit. These
Yeah.
look great, Duke. These look.
Yeah, it does
Look
look
at how
amazing.
high quality these are. It took me 2
These-
years. This is
They
like
look exactly
smart.
as they do on Minecraft.
Yeah,
That's
well, they
very,
are. I
very.
just found them and blew them up. M is for
melon, watermelon, I
Melon.
suppose. Yeah, melon.
N
yeah.
is for Nova. That's the
No, I
make
never
the
would have got that one.
beacon out of. Yeah. O is for
Oak,
oak tree. Yep. Oak sapling actually.
oak sapling.
P is for
Pig,
pig. Q is for
Quartz.
quartz.
Quartz,
Yeah,
yeah.
there you go, Stu. R is for
redstone,
redstone. S is for
stone,
Skeleton.
skeleton. Oh, is that
yeah,
a skeleton? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yes. See, skeleton.
Yeah.
T is for tropical fish.
Okay.
There's no U. There's nothing that starts with U in Minecraft, so I had to
Ah.
skip that. B is for
Villager.
villager. W is for
Water.
Water.
water bucket. Yep. Y is for. There's no X. Y is for yellow. Yellow dye. And Z is for
Zombie.
zombie
Zombie,
in your
wow.
head. So 2 years. I finally finished it. The ABCs of Minecraft.
I'm assuming that's
Wow.
going in a frame, is it?
It is gonna go in a frame. It's gonna go in my classroom, and I'm gonna be like, "Check it out, bitches! I made this. What?
That's really
So
cool.
I'm proud of
I'm
it.
very
Thank
impressed.
Thank you very much. I'm very.
Yeah, it's
proud of it,
impressive.
and, I just finished it this minute because I thought I could get it done during the show, and I did.
Duke,
so
can you take
you're all witnesses
can
to
you,
history.
Can you take a picture of it on your phone?
Yes, I will be
and then I
washing
will
it
make
and
it.
ironing it to get the folds out.
But if you do it, if you just take a picture of it today, I'll make it the picture on the podcast, and then people can see it.
Hey, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe
take a
we'll get
picture.
done for copyright, but you could make it into a T-shirt. There you
No,
go.
we're not making it
Oh,
a t-shirt because
dear.
I will get fucked.
Yes, I will take a picture of it and send it to you, Chinny.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is WhatsApp okay, or should I do it some other form?
Do it on WhatsApp, and then I'll make it the podcast picture as a bit of a.
Okay.
little spin.
So while I'm doing that, somebody else talk about a video game.
Yeah, I will talk about. Yeah, I played another game. Right, I was like, do you know what? I've not played like a story-driven third-person game for ages. So I was like, what can I play?
What can I
fucking
play? What is
play?
third person
What have
with
I
a
not
story?
played? And what I've not played for ages. So I was looking on Game Pass, and I was like, do you know what? Do you know what?
Do you know what?
Watch it.
You
Do you
fucking
know
know
what?
what?
I have not played a Gears of War game for a long time. Probably not
Yeah.
since 2. Probably Gears of War 2
Gears of War 2 was
Was a-
great.
was the last probably Gears of War game I played all the way through. So I thought,
So you played
what
Gears of War 3 then, right?
So I went, fuck that shit. I'm going to play the latest one. Let's see what this is all about.
Gears of
Um,
War.
So I played Gears of War 5. I was
Well,
like,
hold
"Oh, let's
on.
get the latest."
It's called Gears 5, Stu, not Gears of
What
War.
the fuck? Who
Yeah,
cares?
come on, Stu.
So I was like, let's play Gears of War 5. So it does a good job. I'll tell you, it does a good one thing well at the beginning and one thing fucking terribly at the beginning, right?
Go on.
Okay.
And the one thing it does well is it gives you a recap of all the story up to that point.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a 6-hour recap then.
So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, right, well, it's more or less that. I think it's
Nothing's
just-
happening.
I think it's just
Nothing's
the last-
happening.
the last
There's alien
game
bugs,
also,
and you
to be
fight
fair.
them,
And you
lost
fight
some of your
them, and then
comrades,
like
it's
Marcus
kind
So it
comes
says,
back, and Don
Previously
dies.
on Gears of War.
Previously.
So yeah, it does all that shit, and then it has the worst tutorial
Oh, okay.
any game ever.
Ever.
And it
that's
almost, it
harsh.
was that bad. I'll be honest, right? This is totally true. It was that bad. It nearly put me off playing the game altogether, and I nearly went
Wow,
because
that's
you
harsh.
couldn't skip it. There's no way of skipping it. I did find out afterwards you can skip it, but not in a normal way. You have to go back to the main menu, and then it just lets you play the game.
Weird.
Okay.
Unskippable fucking. It should give you a finger to play it that says at the beginning. Have you played Gears of War before? If you don't want to play the tutorial, you can skip it by
You
pressing.
know what
B.
though, Stu? You might be rusty these days with your age.
No, I was fine. I was fine. I don't think I did. Like, there was nothing in the tutorial that I wouldn't have learned playing the game.
Well,
There
they
was
could have
nothing.
made a better tutorial, couldn't they? I suppose.
It was
Yes.
fucking horrendous. It's like, oh, let's go through some moves for the new recruits. So it's like, let's because you're so skilled, and it was just painful. And it
There
was
are
just
some
like,
new things you can do, like fetch ammo,
Yeah, there's that fetch
which
ammo,
you wouldn't
but-
have fucking
but-
figured out.
Well, you would, because when you press left, it says
You
X
would.
on the screen, so it's fairly obvious what you're meant to
Yeah,
do.
I don't know.
And
yeah.
the
Most
only
people
thing
wouldn't
I
figure it out, but Stu is not your average
Yeah,
gamer.
The
but you wouldn't
only
have seen
thing-
that with your eyes because you're old.
The only thing, there was two things I probably wouldn't have known, right? And one is that you can do like a roll over cover and then take someone out by pressing B straight away.
Oh, yeah.
And you can lean over cover and drag them behind and press B and kill them, right?
Correct.
But I've yet to use that. I've been playing it for about 4 hours and I've probably yet to use that in the actual game itself.
Yeah.
I've never used it.
Yeah.
So I was just like, whatever. So I hated the fucking intro, and it's been long enough that they could have patched in a press B to skip
Yeah.
tutorial if you played before.
They don't know who they're fucking with, Stu, do they?
Oh, honestly.
You were a
I
veteran
thought-
gamer.
Exactly. I thought this game had reviewed quite badly, but it didn't. When
No,
I
no,
actually
it's
had a look at it
great.
done. And I'll be honest, I'm enjoying this. you
Gears
know
of
what I mean?
War 5 is
It's
solid.
Started off
pretty,
rough, but
actually
now you
pretty
like it.
Solid.
good. Yeah, the
Cool.
tutorial, fuck that shit, right? And if you do play the game now and you've never played it before, just pause the game, go into the main menu, because apparently you can just skip all that shit. Because you just don't need
Go
it.
for it.
You don't need
Skip
it.
it up.
I played this during I did 2 lockdown streams. Remember those? Like 24-hour charity streams. I did one
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a hospice and then one for Gary Lever, R.I.P. Gary. Yeah, so I did that, and I finished Gears 5 in that with Marsh. In the
It's
charity
good.
stream.
Look, I'm
great.
pretty impressed. I'm pretty impressed. It's
Very
solid.
good. Very good.
There's been some decent like mini boss fights and stuff up to now.
Yeah.
I'm up to Act 2, Chapter 2 or something like that now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've got, which is kind of cool as well, because it goes from, a standard Gears of War setup, sort of fairly corridor shooty type thing, to suddenly a bit open worldy.
Yeah, a bit open world. Yeah, with the I don't know what you call it, like a sailboat
Yeah, and
thing,
it's
isn't it?
snowy and all that kind of.
Yeah.
Then I believe it's open world
Like
for
a
the next
sail
level.
sledge, isn't
Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of does enough, but not too crazy open world.
it? Yeah. Yeah. And there's lots of side missions that you can skip,
Yeah.
but they're very good as well. They're very good side missions. And...
So
Yeah.
far, I'm actually pretty into this. I was quite like,
Yeah.
I just fancied a when you just like,
You just
I want
fancy a
to.
change.
I didn't know what to play. I'm like, I don't know what to play. I
Yeah.
feel like something different to what
And
I've
it's
been
all
playing.
co-op, Stu.
I know, but I've no one to play with. But there you go.
Wah, wah, wah.
No one to play with. But I'm enjoying it all the same, regardless of having no one to play
Yes,
it with.
yes, yes.
Would you like?
The AI actually is pretty good. The AI is not kill.
Yeah.
I remember playing on your own on the very first Gears of War, and you just got killed constantly. They were awful.
Yeah.
Whereas, and you see the fucking enemies getting each other up and stuff all the time.
Oh yeah.
Fuck me, what are they doing?
What are they doing?
Reviving each other, you bastards.
They used to do that in the first games, but not as often. But yeah.
No, they look after each other in this game.
They care for each other.
They do.
You think these locusts are like horrible, big, mean bastards, but
yeah.
You know what? They like each other. They're feelings.
And can I just say a very unique way of killing a boss involving a motorcycle, which I was kind of found was funny.
Yeah,
it was kind of funny. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good so far. I am more impressed with Gears of War 5 than I thought I would be.
Yep, another franchise that Microsoft have fucked up.
Yeah. There's not been one since, has this was the last
No,
one.
this is the last one. But you know, they Bungie makes Halo. They get rid of Bungie, and then they make 343 Industries. They fuck up Halo. Great. And then whoever makes this Gears thing.
The Coalition, they're called.
Yeah. Gears of War 3 comes out, finishes the trilogy. It's great. Everybody loves it. Everybody's like, job done. They bring out Gears of War 4. Everybody hates it. It's awful. And then they make Gears 5, and they...
Was not Judgment? Was not Gears of War Judgment?
Which was like, I don't know, questionable. But like Gears of War 5, which they just didn't back it with the marketing, but also maybe came out a bit quick in terms of like the last Gears of War, and yeah, it just, I don't know, they just fuck up all these.
They did. They made a good job. It looks great, by the way.
It's a great game. It's a
great looking game. The snowy level looks amazing.
Snowy level's good. The end's really well. There's good bosses. Like no complaints about Gears of War.
No, and I believe the story's pretty good as well. The voice acting's pretty good.
But it's not as memorable though. You know, as the first Gears of War. Maybe that's diminishing returns, and we've seen it all before.
Yeah, and also let's not forget I played the campaign of the original Gears of War probably about 5 or 6 times.
Oh yeah.
With different people, you know, because you're like, oh, do you want to help me out with this or whatever?
Yeah.
And you just jump in with. I've played that first opening bit of the original Gears of War probably over 10 times at some point or another.
Yeah. It's iconic. The first Gears of War. It's iconic.
It is.
And I love the second and third as well. I think they're great games. And I think fourth and Judgment are the bad ones. But 5 is good. 5 is a good one.
Yeah, well, I'm going to keep playing it because I'm actually enjoying it, and I believe it's only about 10 hours long, so it's not going to outstay its welcome.
Yep.
So yeah, I think I'm going to crack on with that. Keep going.
Gears of War 2 Horde mode was a special moment in my gaming life. That was great.
I know, yeah.
Miss those days. Miss those days. Anyway, Gears 5. Yeah.
Duke, over to you. Duke's
yes,
died.
I'm here.
Oh,
Sorry,
no,
I had to
died.
finish checking that email. I'm back. Hello. Yeah, Veteran Gamers is live. Really? That's cool. Okay, so, there was this demo that I downloaded a while ago called Wild Flowers with a Y. And you'll never guess what this is about, okay? There's a farm, right? And you leave your job in the city to go live on this farm.
Wow.
I know, it's blindingly original, right?
Yes.
But here's the thing. There's a community, and there's all these different people you can get to know in the community. But wait, there's more. There's also a fishing mini game, and there's a mine that you can explore. All right, it's a total Stardew Valley ripoff. All I did was write Stardew Valley, Stardew Valley, Stardew Valley. And you have to go, the first mission is to go and meet everybody. I don't want to go meet everybody. God damn it, can't they find a way to do this more organically than just the mayor telling you, go meet everybody? But here's the thing, y'all.
Oh, go on.
I love this game. It's
God.
so interesting. And here's why. It actually does have
What
some
makes
new
it
stuff.
different, though? What makes it different?
I'm about to tell you if you shut your gob.
Come on, man. What makes it different?
What makes it different?
What makes it different?
Queer witches.
Queer witches.
That's what
Queer
makes
witches.
it different. Queer witches, yes. It is the mayor, the city hall has a rainbow flag flying from it. You meet non-binary characters. This person on the screen, Kim, I think it's Kim, says, everyone keeps getting my pronouns wrong. And it's like, damn, this game is not afraid to take a swing. And it's like, at night, your grandma, who's alive, she didn't leave you the farm in her will. You go to take care of your grandma. And she's like, I gotta go do an errand. Like, Grandma, it's 10 o'clock at night. Where are you going? She's like, I'll be back. and then you're cleaning up and you realize there's a trap door underneath her rug, and you go down there, there's this cauldron, you're like, what the fuck? And Grandma's like, all right, it's time to tell you, like, our family is witches.
I'm a gay witch.
Let's go to the coven. And you go to the coven, and there's these people standing around
Sick.
like, oh, tree of beauty, like enchant our incantations and all this stuff. So that's the twist. The mechanics are fluid. It's the first game in a long time, besides Rocket League, that I've wanted to play with a controller, because it's not, the mechanics aren't very deep, right? So when it's time to chop down a tree, normally you click on the tree or you hold E and it'll attack the tree for you. Not this game. You have to keep clicking it over and over again.
Clickety
and it's
click.
just like, So with a controller, you can just hold the button down.
Sure.
And that's better. And then you have to gather up the tree pieces when it breaks. And it's easier to do that with a controller instead of having to click on the little circle, whatever. Yeah, it's very well made. It's weird because at one point when you're introducing yourself to all the people, one of the characters is a teacher, and there's some kids in town, and they're all in the classroom, right? So this person who just moved into town just goes wandering into the classroom, like, "Hi, kid. My name is Susie. How are you?" And like, "Tell me about yourself." "Okay, other kid." Like that would happen in a normal school, right?
Sure.
Yeah, it's all very ridiculous, but it's fun.
It looks like a free game. It
Yeah, it
looks
does.
Well,
I don't know. It looks like
the graphics are polished. You have to admit, it does look like it's a mobile game or something.
Yes.
Because it's designed, it's aiming kind of kiddish.
it looks like the Microsoft avatars.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
It kinda
Can you
does
actually
look like
play
that, yeah.
darts? Can you play darts, or is that just for
No,
show?
I don't think so. Yeah, the mini games.
Oh,
aren't
you had
very
me for a
deep, so
minute.
that-
Then I'm like, oh, I can
Yeah,
play
you
darts.
lost him.
That's
There
pretty
are
lost
video
cool.
games where you can play darts. There's one called Darts. So you-
No.
Yeah, maybe, but if it's a dartboard in the game,
hate
I'd
queer
expect
people
it
then,
to be
huh?
a
Is that what you're
dartboard
saying?
mini game.
Yeah,
you don't want to play a game because it's queer people. but
correct.
If it had darts, you would play it.
Accurate.
When the demo finished, I was like, because I kept thinking like, oh, don't end demo. I want to see what's going on with these witches. And then the demo finished, and I was like, ah, shit. All right, because I really wanted to see what was going to happen. Now they had me with the queer witch
They
storyline,
got
so
ya.
I'm like, all right, I'll go put it on the wish list.
Oh, you haven't bought it then?
And then I was like, all right, it's $24. Now I know some cheapskates would look at that and go, oh God, no
quite a lot of
way, I'm
money.
not paying that much.
I ain't paying more than a tenner for anything.
Yeah. Well, some of us want to support game developers who promote
I support
solidarity
game
and
developers when they're
liberation
on
for
sale.
queer people.
I just support game developers in general. It doesn't matter whether they have queer characters in. I just support game developers.
Oh,
in
so
general.
you don't think that's important to promote visibility?
Support all
and,
game
like, people
developers.
being
Why support
who they
just
are?
one from another?
Oh,
Depending
so
on what
all
they have
lives
in the
matter is
game.
what you're saying then? Is
Well,
that
all
lives matter?
games matter.
Oh,
All games matter. What
Yeah,
are you
all
talking
games
about?
I didn't
matter,
realize we
yeah.
had
All
an
games
alt-right
matter.
person here on the thing.
All games matter. What's the matter with
Anyway,
you?
the point is, I bought it because I was so keen to keep playing it.
Wow.
I put it on my wish list, and then literally like 20 minutes later, I'm like, I'm just gonna buy it. Because normally I'll just put it on my wish list and then wait for it to show up in a sale. But I was like, you know what? I like the fact that they're making games with representation, and it's a fun game. I'm having a good time with it. So yeah, I've made a paper press in my basement witch dungeon, and that's for writing the incantations on. You have to catch squid in order to get the ink to write the incantations and stuff. And they gave me my first wand and stuff. So
It's
yeah,
not a vegan game then, is it?
well, it's not, because the person, and by the way, the
Because
non-binary
you're
person
squeezing
is the
ink
one
out of squids just to write your recipes
exactly.
down.
And the
Wow.
person that I'm crushing on is the non-binary person who runs the butcher shop. And so they're like, hey, if you ever want to buy some pork chops or whatever, check this out. But when you go to cook stuff, there's an indicator of certain recipes that are vegan. So apparently there's some sort of benefit, I'm guessing, to like playing as a vegan.
So there's
and,
a vegan. Wait a minute, no, but do you still have to write your recipes using squidding? Because if you do, that's a bit of a contradiction, right?
Okay,
there,
I guess
that.
I didn't make it clear earlier, or you
Hypocritical.
weren't listening. I'm going to guess it was probably the second, but maybe not. The squid ink is for incantations, which is the witches part. The recipes are not written down at all.
But you're using the incantations. Do you not do that?
So
if
my
you're a
guess is
vegan?
right. You cannot be a vegan witch in this game.
No, I don't think you can.
Well, that's everything I stand against because I love vegan
Yeah,
wishes.
yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I've been.
Well,
You
anyway,
mentioned the vegan witches
if
thing,
you're-
and I'm just like,
If you're looking for a cozy Stardew clone, which is 3D, Wildflowers with a Y is a lot of fun, and you get to be a witch, and it's a queer, positive community. And
is it mainly
yeah,
about being a witch, though? Is that a big part of it, or can you choose not to be a witch?
Yeah, do you have to be a witch?
mean, it's a significant part of it. I mean, that is the sort of
The
core,
the gist
element, in addition to farming and exploring the mine and fishing and all the rest of it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's basically two storylines, and they sort of converge. Yeah, but I'm having a great time. It's fun.
Oh, I'm very happy for you.
Big
dude.
thumbs up, Wildflowers, baby. Here we go.
I tell you what,
There you
there's like this trend of Stardew Valley copies is just not hitting for me.
Well, we had Call of Duty clones for a long time, and then it became Battle Royale clones,
Yeah.
and MOBAs was the thing for a while, right?
Yeah.
Valorant and Overwatch, whatever you would call those, class-based fighter, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
And now it's, Stardew Valley, crafting.
Well, we had a Minecraft sort of era,
We
didn't
did.
we, where
That's
everything
true.
was a
That's
Minecraft.
true.
Yeah, we did.
Minecraft
But now it's all
Yeah, we did.
Stardew Valley knockoffs.
Now it's
yeah.
all Stardew Valley
Stardew
clones
Valley.
and
Damn.
Battle Royale. I guess there's still some Battle Royales, but
Not as many.
all right. Who's next?
Ginny, are we going to do our Does It Hold Up? Does it hold up,
Oh, that's
though?
right.
Does it fucking hold up,
Does it
mate?
hold up?
Does it
Does it hold
fucking
up?
hold up? Fucking think so,
I
my
can
son.
hold up this awesome cross stitch that I made. That holds
Yeah.
up.
Does it hold up?
Does it hold up, my
So
son?
as people may or may not know, for the last few weeks we've been playing the original first season of The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
And we're getting towards the end. We're on the 4th chapter now this
Fourth
week. 4th chapter. Only one left to go.
Yeah.
And we're deciding, does it still hold
Does
up?
it fucking hold up, my son?
I'd like to say, first off, with this episode, the 4th chapter,
4th episode, yeah.
4th episode. I
Fourth
don't know whether
chapter,
this is kind of the weakest one.
I'd say so. I'd
Yeah.
say so. This is
I
probably
think
the one
so.
I remember the least in
Yeah, it is.
going back to it. I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't
it
remember
is.
any of this shit. I remember when he got bit, and that's about it.
Yes, yeah, because this is the episode where he finally gets bit.
On the arm.
There are a couple of big decisions that you need to make.
Yeah.
For instance, Ginny, and let's ask about the biggie here. What did you let happen to Ben? What happened with Ben? Ben.
Dead.
Yeah, did you let him die when he got
Because
grabbed?
because he skanked Clementine, didn't he?
He skanked her, and let's be honest, right? It's just a liability. I mean,
He
that
is.
lad, he's fucking stuff up. He's getting everybody killed.
Yeah.
He got Kenny's wife and son killed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He is.
But like he's
Got Carly killed.
a lot of zombies are running towards him, and like he's got Clementine there, and he just runs off and leaves her. You pick her up. Any
Yeah,
normal
he-
person would
he
pick up
would've-
the little girl and be
Yeah.
like, right, I'll
He
save
would
her.
have got Clementine killed at that point. And let's be honest, he gets, is it Chuck? I don't know, is it Chucky? Chucky, the guy off the train, the homeless man.
Yeah.
Gets it in it
Chucky,
really
yeah.
gets him killed as well because he runs off and Chuck defends Clementine.
Liability.
He's an absolute liability.
So, as soon as he left Clem, I was like, this man's got to die.
And then Clem, bless her little cotton socks, still defending him. I'm like, what are you
Yeah,
doing? You
well.
need some serious education.
Well,
Oh man, that's the pure heart of a child.
Well, I guess, but in a fucking post-apocalyptic world, people like him are just
He's
going
gonna
to
get us killed.
Get you killed, man.
children are idiots, though. So
Yeah.
everybody knows
And
that.
also, let's be honest, right? When he gets grabbed by the bell-ringing zombie, which I thought was kind of funny, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, I totally forgot.
But yeah, it's just the zombie's hanging from the bell ringer, and he's actually ringing the bell with his head.
Hmm.
He grabs him, does he? He grabs him, and you're like, "Ooh, what shall I do?" And I'm like, "Nah, do nothing." So just
Nothing.
let him get full. And I thought as well,
Sorry,
like,
buddy.
why risk myself for him?
Exactly.
Why am I going to risk
What has
getting
he ever done for
killed?
me?
Yeah, exactly. Nothing. All he's done is brought me
Schmuck.
pain. I was getting off
Yeah.
with Carly, and he fucked all that shit up. Do you know what I mean? He got Carly shot in the head. So yeah, I was kind of like, yeah, let him go. So I let him go. And then Clementine actually is angry with you because you let him get killed.
Well, of
I was
course.
just like- and I just said,
'Cause
did
her
you?
heart
Was you
is
truthful?
pure.
Was you truthful with her? Because she, you can,
Yeah.
she asked you what happened, and I was just like, yeah, well, sometimes people have to die or something like that. I can't remember what the option was now, but I was like,
I always tell Clem the truth. That's my
Yeah,
decision
I do.
in this playthrough.
I do.
I'm always upfront with her. I'm always honest with her. I never coat my words. I'm like, yep, that's what I did. Told her that I was a murderer last episode. I'm like, yeah.
I can't believe what I must have done the last playthrough, right? Because I distinctly remember, because you get bit,
Yeah.
and then there's so many people can go with you, can't they? Depending presumably on what, how you've been with them for the game, they decide whether they're going to come with you or not come with you. I'm almost sure I had only one person, or I was on my own the last time I played it, so I must have been very evasive with everybody and not told them anything or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I had everybody. I don't know about, well, apart from Ben because he's dead. Yeah. How did you get on? Did you have everybody with you?
I had everybody with me, but I'm like you. I'm pretty sure I was on my own the first time I played this.
Yeah, I'm sure I was.
Because I remember that scene, and I was like, I don't remember anyone being with me. When
I
I did this.
don't. Well, maybe I did. I can't. I mean, it's a long time since I played this
it's
game.
like a long. Yeah, it's 11 years ago. So.
Yeah, but apparently that's the worst outcome. Apparently, only 10% of players, according to the end, are on their own or something like that. It's only about hardly anyone. But I'm sure I was either on my own and just had one other person.
So the question is,
yeah,
does it hold up?
I think it still does. I do, like I said at the beginning of this conversation, I still think this is quite probably the weakest episode of the game so far.
Definitely.
And I do feel like it's almost a bit of a filler. Because even the way it ends is a bit weird, isn't it? It's almost a bit like, just ends, doesn't it?
It's all building up, isn't it? That's the problem.
Yeah. And I do, obviously you can see where it's going now. I do remember the very first time I played, obviously I wasn't as shocked this time because I played it before. But I remember the first time when he gets bit, I remember sitting there going, what just happened? What?
Yeah.
Because it's like a snake bite, isn't it? Because this dude's behind the board.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's just like...
Yeah. You go and try and grab the hat and he just jumps you, doesn't he?
I like that, though. I like the fact that it was just like... It wasn't a big scene or anything like that.
No.
It was just... Yep, he just got bit on a
I just remember
random Sunday afternoon or whatever.
Yeah, how can the main character in the game
It was a
get
Tuesday
bit?
for me.
Yeah.
Get bit? What the hell is happening?
And it has to germinate slowly. It has to be a thing that shows up. You know it, but it's called dramatic irony, where the audience knows something that a character doesn't know.
And I think also what's kind of cool about this game in general, from playing it again now and thinking back to games that were around at the time this came out, I feel like it's quite a brave game. I think it does things that are not really any other game was doing at that point, doing stuff that was a bit more hard hitting. Not necessarily zombies.
I'm just kidding. I know.
But like main character, just killing people off, you know what I mean? And giving you decisions to make that were shitty ones. Where you're like, I don't really want to make the decision.
What other games where they do that? I don't know, like Rockstar games, maybe?
Well, maybe. Can I ask a question?
It's always about the Rockstar game. Excuse me, I had to make some hard decisions in Oblivion, okay?
Yeah. Did you get Kenny to kill the Ducky Lucky Likey?
Yes.
Yeah, I did. Again, that was apparently a very low percentage when I got to the end of the game. I was like, because I thought that was quite a good redemption for him because he couldn't obviously do it for his son.
Yeah.
But I thought it'd be cathartic for him.
No, I made Kenny do it to his son, his own son, didn't he? So he's doing it twice.
You did that.
I ain't doing your dirty work, man.
I was an horrible defense.
I've got my own laundry mat with arcades in it. I'm not doing your dirty laundry.
But I felt like he needed to do that, get it out of his system. Kill that kid and.
Well, that's what that whole scene's about, isn't it? It's him moving on and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly. And he did it. It worked. And he was like, in fact, he was appreciative. He said something, Kenny appreciates that or something like that, doesn't he? So he sort of... And I thought maybe that's why he went with me at the end, because I was like, I made him kill a kid. Who knew? Yeah. How do you get him to go with you? Get him to kill a kid.
Kill a kid.
Yeah, I think it still holds up. I do. I was
definitely.
I was a bit like, ooh, at the beginning. But as the story's gone on and the episodes have gone on, I've been more and more like, yeah, do you know what? It's still pretty good. It's still pretty good.
Still good.
The story's still pretty good.
Yep.
There you go. So that's it for that.
So the question, does he hold up? Yes.
So far, so good.
One more episode left.
Yeah, we get the final episode
One
this
more.
week. Final episode this week.
Yeah, it's coming down.
Ooh-wee. Then I get to pick the next. Does it hold up? Because you picked.
Yeah,
this
does
one.
it hold up?
You do.
Yeah, does it hold up?
And
I've been thinking,
I might join you, but probably not.
I've been thinking there's a lot to choose from. When I think about it, I think there's a lot of games that we could play.
Well, the problem last time
there's a lot of games that are now 10 years old or older.
Yeah.
Yeah. I picked the Mass Effect trilogy last time. So that was 3 games that are massive. So
Yeah.
Huge games. Some of the
I think we
biggest
should
games
try
ever
and
made.
stick to maybe third-person action games or something like that. You know, something
How
that's not
about
gonna take
Pong?
us
Does Pong still
forever.
hold up?
does it hold up? No,
Does it
yeah,
hold up?
don't worry. I'm going to pick a Whopper. Don't worry about that.
I know, yeah, good stuff.
Okay.
That's it. So that's it for that.
So-
Duke, back over to you. I'm guessing
Right.
you've got a lot to talk
I'm
about.
only going to talk about one more game, and then I'll save these other two for next week.
Sure.
Yeah, okey-doke.
Yeah, I got I don't know why, but I just got the urge to start all over in New World. So I made a new character.
Great.
And
Oh my god.
hokey smoke. New World is a very good video game. I hate to say it about an Amazon game, but it's well made.
Jeff Bezos made this with his own sweat.
With
He
his
did.
own-
He did.
Well,
His
he
sweat
never
and
sweats, but
tears
he
and
hired some people
blood.
to make it.
Yeah.
They were sweating a lot.
And he says, if you
and they didn't
don't
have
make
time to
it
use the
quicker,
bathroom.
I won't fucking let you eat, you
I will
bastard.
kill your children.
Yeah.
There are two things I want to say about the stupid narrative in this game, and there's one actually very good thing about the narrative. Let me start with the bad. For some reason, and so in an MMO, NPCs that you meet, and maybe there's exceptions to this, but in most MMOs, the NPCs don't accompany you, right? There are games where you get accompanied by people who will fight with you. That doesn't happen in this game. In most MMOs, it doesn't happen. And for some reason, they keep coming up with reasons for it. Like why this person you're talking to isn't going to go, you're going to go fight this witch. And he's like, I would join you, but I just watched this friend of mine die. I wouldn't be any good to you in a battle. Don't feed me a bunch of shit about why you wouldn't be a good comrade in arms. You want me to go do this mission? Just tell me to go do this mission. I don't need you to explain why you're not coming with me. Like, whatever. That's bizarre. And then the other one, there's this quest line where there's this woman you meet and she's like, oh, my parents think I'm nothing and I don't really have a reason to keep going. And then you tell her about this group of mercenaries and she's like, oh, I could join them. Like it's all about honor and dignity and this and that. And she's like, oh, but in order to join them, I need a sword. Can you help me get a sword? And I'm like, wait a minute. If you're going to join this band of mercenaries and fight wolves and zombies in the woods, I think they might value someone who has the resourcefulness to go get her own fucking sword, don't you? Like, why is that the fetch quest to start that off? Whatever. So those are some dumb narrative choices. In general, the stories, like in most MMOs, are utterly forgettable. But the mechanics are so much fun, running around, chopping down trees, mining, and whatever. I don't need to go into it again, but the good narrative, which I think is very interesting. I've said that my biggest problem with MMOs is that, you know, everybody in town is talking about how, oh, this, you know, witch outside of town is causing so much pain and destruction. If only somebody would kill the witch. And then you go and kill the witch, and then 2 minutes later, they're like, oh, this witch is causing destruction, blah, blah, blah. In New World, they actually build that into the lore. So it all takes place on this one island, and it's supposedly like during the European conquest of the so-called New World. That's why it's called New World. And the cover art is this dude in a metal conquistador mask. And half of it's blue and half of it's red. And it's blood. Yeah. But
What does
it
it
talks
mean?
about like you've come back. They talk about people dying and then coming back. And so this whole idea of people dying and coming back is built into the world building.
Okay.
Which I think is pretty cool because that means that, you know, when you go and, for instance, at one point there's this bear that's been mauling children or something, and you go and you kill it, and when you complete the quest, the guy goes, well, I think our community can rest easier knowing that that bear won't be around for a while now.
Okay. Yeah, so
Which
they
is good, 'cause
justify
then
the respawning of that bear.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, and you know, you dying and coming back is built into the story. I just think it's not brilliant, it's not great, but it is, you know, the thing that bugs me about MMOs. They
It'll
actually
do.
kind of do an
It'll do.
Yeah, they do an end run around.
They
that.
addressed it. They addressed it.
They addressed it, exactly. And so far as I know, it's the first MMO that's ever done that, and I appreciate that. Meanwhile, the mechanics are just scads of fun. The graphics are great. I'm having a good time with New World. So, mwah. And sorry, last thing I'll say. Last time I was doing sword and shield and bow and arrow, and this time I have this big spear. And it's cool because it doesn't make sense, but you can throw the spear at an enemy's head and then attack them with this other spear that you also have. So I don't know how you have two spears, but whatever. And you can also block with the spear fairly well. But this really is the last thing I'll say. If you keep your armor weight down, you can roll around. But the minute you get, I think it's like 15 pounds or 13 pounds. The minute you get above the light classification for your armor, you can only like hop when you're trying to dodge. So I have to wear all light armor because I'm trying to do it's so much more satisfying to attack and then dodge and attack and to be exactly. So it's frustrating because that means 2/3 of the armor in the game is off limits to me. But nevertheless, I'm having a really good time.
I'm looking on
New
screen
World.
here. I thought this was going to be hacky slashy, but he's got a gun as well, which is kind of interesting.
There are blunderbusses. There are magic wands. There are there's bow and arrow, there's spears. I think the blunderbuss is like the only no, there's muskets. Like there are some guns, which
So is that a slow reload thing?
Yeah, they tend to be slow reload.
Right.
It tends to be the type of thing I think people will attack once with the gun and then switch to sword and shield, and they'll hit once with the gun, or maybe there's like a special move you can fire twice real quick or something. With the bow you can do a rapid 3-shot move. But I usually have one weapon for up close and then one ranged, but because you can hurl the spear from a distance, I'm just spear. It's just the spear. So
very good.
Hooray, New World!
Hooray, New World! Right. On that note, we need to do some emails, I believe.
Yeah.
Is it time for email?
Whoa, that ruled.
First email this evening is from Jason. And he says, do you know what? I read through this before the show because it's a big email, so I thought I better read through this, give it a read through.
And now it makes perfect sense.
But no, it's the first email he sent that makes complete sense all the way through, and I actually love it. I think it's a great email.
I'll be the judge of that.
And he's entitled "The Old Arcade Cabinets." Right.
Okay.
So I was like, what's this going? So I'm thinking, he must have played Arcade Paradise. No, that's not the case at all.
Huh.
So he says, "Hey,
Okay.
veterans, shout out to my old uncle Scrooge. He
Okay.
has had a good life and he's still kicking it. He was a builder in his 70s, but now he's in his 80s, so he just hangs out and gives me a hard time.
And he swims around in his pool filled with gold coins.
He may well do. He's a great guy, though, no doubt. I love this. In the 1980s, he got tremendously rich by starting a gaming company in Fort Worth, Texas.
Ooh. Is this true?
It is true. Yeah, no, I assume it is. The way he's written it, I think it's totally true.
Okay.
Which was called Dynamo, which you may have heard of. They used to ship globally, so no doubt some of you have played an arcade from Texas and possibly still have one. It's still possibly one I still have a high score on. So these are the games that he actually shipped, right?
Right.
Okay.
Ikari Warriors, Double Dragon.
Oh, that was my jam back in the day.
Double Dragon, Golden Axe, Street Fighter 2,
Golden Axe, wow.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Pac-Man, Galaga, Final Fight, and Outrun.
Nice.
Those were the big ones, but they shipped many more along with pool tables, air hockey, and football.
Pool tables.
Foosball, etc.
Hey.
He was raking in my current annual salary every single month.
Wow.
Dude.
That is crazy money. They used to just get hammered and play the games on the assembly line. When I think of him, I think of that Richard Pryor movie, The Toy. He was incredibly smart to become a video game entrepreneur back then. And I want to copy that success, but nobody's buying that many arcades today. These days, it's a car wash on every corner, but no arcades. My uncle was in the right place at the right time. Of all those games at Dynamo, it was Ikari Warriors that hooked me and my brothers the most.
That was the one. Now, I didn't play that one in the arcade, but I did play it on our NES back in the day. It was the first game I remember having like perpetual continue options, and we just played it forever.
Yeah. So the experience of running around that building, a kid high on games and doubling Dr. Pepper, there are some not so many great memories, though. The warehouse guys used to blow up the bathroom with funk. I don't know even what that means.
I do.
Well, it means poopy smells.
Yeah. Always stunk really, really bad. The graffiti on the walls was always interesting. I even think Stu would have blushed. That's probably where it all started for me. As a kid in the 80s, it was awesome to experience. Anyway, next time you play that arcade machine at that meetup, just think about this. You'll never beat my high score. So get back to your Rocket League, you weird and shit.
Yeah,
and your
Rocket League.
Mario Maker.
Yeah.
We're all part of the history of video games, but to me, my uncle is the godfather. And shout out to Dad for Pong, Atari, and the NES. I don't think his dad developed those, by the way. I think he just probably got them for him.
His dad developed the NES.
How do you know?
And by the way,
Yeah,
speaking
really.
of funk,
Racist.
here's a baby poo story for you, Chinny.
Nice.
I had just got off work. It was 2009, and yeah, I'd just listened to the Veteran Gamers. My kid was probably about 8 months old. I was laying on my back and holding her above me. She was giggling and being cuter than ever. Her mum took my attention away for 2 seconds, and when I turned back to look into my daughter's eyes, she wasn't giggling. Neither was I. It was sudden. It was gross. Her vomit landed directly in my mouth,
Nice.
as if she were aiming it
Oh my god.
all over my face and chest.
Love it.
I
Get
handed
ready
her
for
over.
that, Chinny. Get
I don't
ready
think I've
for
ever had that
that.
happen to me. I had Millie was sick all down my back when I was winding her once after feeding, but other than
Well,
that,
that's standard though, isn't it?
that's standard. I handed her over to her mum.
She
and
was
ran to get
27. No,
Clean.
she-
She was 27. When I came back and I pulled her from her mum's arms, and 30 seconds later, I felt something wet and clumpy rolling down my arms, and I felt the squish of warmth.
Gross.
Yo,
Oh man,
yo,
I just had an idea. Wouldn't it be
doo-doo.
interesting if Jason Gallagher took on the challenge of writing an email at some point that had no references to vomit or poop?
Hold
Wouldn't
up.
that be
He can't help himself.
Expensive diapers, Chin. Pay the extra cash for the super absorbent. Don't be like Stu,
Hmm.
Jason.
Yeah.
So there you go. I love that. I love that his uncle was a bloody video
Oh,
game
yeah.
cabinet entrepreneur who fucking knew.
But there's people making money off arcade cabinets now. I mean, the arcade club is
yeah.
massive, isn't it? So
Part of me was sat there thinking, I wonder if he's still got some in a warehouse somewhere, you know, that he never
Yeah,
sells.
so
Still just
Jason
brand
Gallagher,
new cabinets.
maybe you can make money out of it.
Maybe you
know,
can. Maybe you
because-
sat on,
because people
sat
want
on
to do
a
it.
fortune. Sat
I
on a
went to
fortune
like
you don't
that
even know
that
about.
NQ64 in Birmingham, you know, where it's like a bar and arcade and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
and
There's like
people-
3 of them in this town.
Yeah, they're
so
definitely
there's-
making a comeback,
there's
Jason. You
money
need to,
to be
get
made.
your,
There's money to be made.
you need to find out if your uncle's got some squirreled
Money on the
away
table.
somewhere that you don't know about. That's what I'm
There
saying.
you go.
Mhm.
Okay, we've got one from Tainted Brain, and he says,
Brain.
"Hey all."
Hey, all.
Hey.
So you mentioned cozy games last week. I'm not sure whether it means
Yeah.
a game that you don't have to think about, just click away and let your mind wander, or a game that you can just get lost in. The outside world
Yeah.
disappears,
There's a lot of ways to describe
but
cozy
you
games.
remain focused on what's going on. I was wondering what you guys felt the phrase cozy game meant to you.
I just said.
Yeah, also, what do you feel contributes most to a cozy game? Is it gameplay, graphics, or sound, etc.?
For me, it has to do with the gameplay specifically. So Skyrim can be relaxing because the music is very beautiful, the graphics are gorgeous, but you know you're being attacked by zombies and stuff, so it's not really cozy. Whereas Stardew Valley is the prototypical cozy game in my view because everything's peaceful. There's a little fighting down in the mines, but mostly it's just farming and talking to people and fishing and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. I think Animal Crossing is probably the best cozy game I've played because it doesn't do any of it. There's nothing. There's not even fighting. There's nothing apart from interacting and fishing and getting fruit and a bit like Dinkum, really. Although Dinkum's slightly more violent. There's
Yeah.
more stuff going on like
Yeah,
that. What about you,
fighting.
Chinny? What's your
For
cozy
me,
game?
I think it's got to be games that I just like being in that world. So Red Dead for
sure.
me is nice and cozy because I'm like, oh, I'm just playing. This is like the creme de la creme. I love being in this world. This is nice. This is perfect for me. Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
Okie doke. Lastly, a tech question. I've been doing online interviews over the past 2 months. Every time I need to use my mic, I have to delve into Windows settings. Do you have to do this with the podcast each week, or is there some trick you all know about? And would you care to share? Or I certainly don't. I don't mess around with any of my settings.
Actually, I do, but that's just because I have to run it through
You have
the
to run it
software
through a
called
thing.
Voice Meter
Yeah.
in order to get the sound effects. But they're worth it because, you know, nobody can go without these awesome, awesome sound effects.
It depends. If I'm playing sound effects, I have to run it through voice mod. But No. Usually it just connects straight up, and we've been doing these NCT classes, which is like the baby classes basically, and they're on Teams, and I fucking hate Teams, and that's usually I usually have
Duchess
to.
has to use Teams for her work sometimes. And
Yeah, I usually have to change like some of the settings on those, but no, it's not been too bad.
Yeah, the only time I've really noticed it with my laptop because I record obviously the mixes that I do, and if I unplug because I have like a sound, it's not a sound card, but it feeds the audio into the laptop.
Yeah.
And I have to go into the settings and change it to stereo from mono and stuff like that. If you unplug it, it seems to decide to reset itself to just DVD quality one channel. So I have to go and mess around. But obviously with the PC in here, I've never had that issue. So I don't know.
Yeah.
By the way, I did get a job.
Yay, awesome.
I ended up needing a year off work and a change, but I've finally started working again. Thanks for all the podcast guys, Brian. So there you go.
Yay!
So thank you,
good
Brian.
job,
I'm
buddy.
glad you got a job.
Hope you love it.
Next email this evening is off Darren Sim, and he says, "Evening, just a quick question tonight. I've been getting an itch to play a Bethesda game as I don't have an Xbox.
Yay.
I won't be
Speaking
playing.
of which, sorry,
Starfield."
I did not realize that, and maybe you probably said this, so it's on me, but Starfield?
Yeah, it's
is
Starfield. He said
on
Starfield,
Game
but it's
Pass.
Starfield.
And it's just
Day
like,
one.
Yeah, day one.
install it now. I already installed. I'm like, what? I didn't. Oh, snap. Now, here's the thing. How much would it suck for me to get really into that game and play it for months and months and months, and then it just vanish from Game Pass? I'm like,
It won't.
Some
won't.
games do, but
Well, you
the big
say it
ones
won't.
don't tend
It
to.
won't
No,
because
it's
they
a
aren't.
gamble.
But
It's a gamble.
Microsoft own Bethesda.
Yeah.
Trust them for anything. HBO owns some stuff that they took off.
They own
Netflix
it.
owns stuff that they
It just
took off.
tends to be the
Spotify
third.
took a whole bunch of shit
Yeah,
off.
it
all
tends to
of
be
a
the
sudden.
third
but there's
party
these
games that
services.
disappear.
I don't trust the services.
Spotify don't
point is-
own the artist, do they?
But
No.
here's the thing. What I realized, and the reason I'm okay with it, is because when that happens and I suddenly don't have access to the game, I'll be like, all right, I'll buy it on Steam and I can start a new character.
Yeah, of course you can. You won't give
Yeah,
a shit.
but like it's like saying, look, the TV show The Boys won't be on Amazon Prime, but they made
don't
it.
know.
They made
So
that show.
people take stuff offline all the time for
Better
no
Call
good reason.
Saul was made and produced by Netflix. It will always be
Just
there.
saying. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Okay, well. So my question to you guys is: where would you like a new Fallout to be set?
Ooh.
So if
Outside
there
the
was-
U.S., I think would be interesting. It's time. For
I
them to
mean,
go-
there is a mod being made called Fallout London.
And
I
there's also a
disagree.
mod where they're
This was
remaking
pretty
Oblivion in the
interesting.
Skyrim engine. That's been true for a million years. It's never going to happen. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, Fallout London's nearly there. Apparently, that's close to being complete.
I think
So is Sky Oblivion.
Yeah, true.
the whole satire of Fallout is so American driven. You know, that nuclear town sort of nuclear
I
family
mean,
thing.
that's been the case. But don't you think they could do that for like
They could,
Japan
but
or
I think
South Africa?
have they done one in New York?
Nope. They
No.
did Boston, which is pretty close.
What about
I do one in New York.
what about Fallout Tokyo?
I would like to see it outside the U.S. I think if you're going to stick in the U.S., I mean, they did Project Anchorage, which was a DLC for Fallout 3, so they've
That's
already
Alaska,
been to Alaska,
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could be interesting to do the Pacific Northwest. I'm trying to think of parts of the country that they haven't really explored yet.
Well, like
Florida also is an
Seattle,
interesting option.
Seattle.
Well, that's the Pacific Northwest. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Seattle. Yeah.
Right. Because there's some interesting terrain and possibilities there. But they did Appalachia, which is sort of the southern area. That's Fallout 76. I think Florida does have some interesting prospects with the Everglades and the
The
coastal
swamps.
regions. The swamps, exactly. Well, I mean, all of Florida is a big swamp, to be fair. But
And you could put the like a fake Disney World there. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. Or a rundown. Yeah. Well, I mean, they kind of did that with Nuka World, but they could do another one.
True.
True. If there ever was one. Anyway, I know GTA 6 has already been announced to be Vice City, but where would you have liked it to be? Would you like it to be anywhere
They
else?
only GTA's are only in 3 places, and that's Liberty City,
Yeah.
Vice City, and San Andreas. They're never
San
anywhere
Andreas,
else.
baby.
Yeah.
It's true.
I mean,
So
there
there
has
you
been a GTA London, which was many years ago. It was 98, 99. So I don't really count those as canon. But the first GTA, the top-down GTA 1, 1997 or whatever it was, there was 3 areas in that first game. And do you know what they were called? Liberty City, Vice City, San Andreas.
No, that's funny.
So they've never veered from those 3. So they'll always be there.
They're consistent. Whoops.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, this week's actor is, are you ready? It's Jim Carrey. Go, Duke.
Oh, snap.
Jim Carrey.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Who's next?
Chitty, you
Stu,
go.
we go this way across.
Oh, okay. Ace Ventura, Nature Calls.
All right. The Mask.
The Truman Show.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
His best movie.
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumberer.
He's not in that.
Oh, is he not? I'm out.
I don't think I know another one. I'm trying to think of another one.
Oh my god. There's so many.
Oh, Liar.
Yeah, Liar. Yes Man.
Yeah, I'm really stunned now.
Come on.
Number 23. Say the number 23.
Yeah, number 23 is one. Yeah.
Number 23.
Yeah, that's a Jim Carrey movie.
A stupid thriller. Where
is that an actual movie? I've never even heard of
it.
Yes. Don't watch it. It sucks.
No, I'm stumped. I can't think of any.
The Grinch.
Oh yeah, the Grinch.
Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2.
You see, never seen either of those.
Nor have I. I know he's in them though.
No, I wouldn't know he's in them.
Bruce Almighty. Dumb and Dumber 2 is the one that you was thinking of, Duke.
Okay. Yeah,
Cable Guy.
Oh yeah, Cable Guy.
I don't know. These lesser known ones that have fun with Dick and Jane. Is it Dark Crimes? I think is the one. I Love You, Philip Morris. Pink Cadillac, the Clint Eastwood film.
All right, Chinny.
All right, you know all the movies, Chinny. Very impressive.
Well
got it.
done.
Let's keep moving.
And that's
Mr. Popper's Penguins.
Right,
Mr. Popper's Penguins.
Yeah.
Mr. Popper's
right,
Penguins.
we have got a speak pipe. Thank you, by the way, Darren, for that.
Horton Hears a Who. Horton Hears a Who.
It's the way to leave a message.
I just got an email that says, congratulations, you've received a community award on Steam. I got the Wholesome Award for my review of Crone Escher. I mentioned Crone Escher last week.
I was just going to say, be careful of those. You know what happened last time.
Well, I'm just saying, though. I didn't click on anything, but I went and looked, and it's true. It happened. That's very sweet. Thank you, person who gave me a reward for my review.
Batman Forever.
All right.
Speak pipe. Here we go. Saint Diesel, Nostalgia Nerd.
Not Derek.
Diesel back again. After my movie Blockbuster quiz a few weeks ago, I thought I'd maybe do another one about the middle of September.
Sweet.
And then the last weekend before Halloween, I'll do another movie quiz, but this time to do with horror films.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Hope you'll enjoy both of those. But this week, I've been hearing online about the closure of the Xbox 360 store by Microsoft.
Oh.
It's basically getting closed down in July 2024. And there's been a lot of videos from people getting all nostalgic about the Xbox 360 and about their experiences with it. So I just wanted to go over a few of those of my own today. First one, I think, was the Xbox 360 Ring of Death, or Red Ring of Death, as it was probably called more frequently. Mine did get that at one point, and I sent it off free of charge and got one back, and I think I've still got that one, actually. Second memory, 2 positive ones to end with, was getting GTA 4 on the 360 day one, and I thought that was a great game, and still do in many respects. And lastly, probably my most played game on the Xbox 360 was Oblivion, Elder Scrolls Oblivion. So, just asking you today, what are your memories, if any, of the Xbox 360? And that is it.
If any, there's bloody loads of them.
If you have any,
I got loads. Yeah.
You might not have any.
What do we narrow it down and go? Have you got any 3 Rings of Death memories?
I did. I had one of those. I only had it once, though, to be fair. I only ever got it once. So
I got it twice.
I got it twice.
Yeah.
Right. What I remember though is Tara was in Leeds at the time, and I was like dying to play all these video games, and I was like, right, I go to Leeds when she's at uni in the day. I've got the whole day to play video games.
Yeah.
I switch on the Xbox, three red lights. I was like, fuck. And I had loads. Remember when game was a thing, Stu? The shop game. I had loads of points with them.
Yeah.
Because I bought like
you were ready to give them money.
2 DSs and all this sort of stuff. So I went to Leeds and I went to the shopping centre and I went to game and I says, can you find out how many points I've got on that? Because I should have loads. And he was like, yeah, you have got quite a lot. I says, what can I get with that? And it turned out I could buy a 360 brand new with like 2 games with my points. I was like, fucking do it. I can't be asked to like.
Let's do it.
And I never sent the old one back. I was like, fuck this. I ain't sending the old one back.
Wow. To not have to.
So can I ask you a question? Did you ever try the towel trick?
Man, I ain't got time for that shit. No, I was just like,
he just said he bought a new one. Why would he bother?
I just wondered if it was some point you tried the towel trick, to see if you could get it to work.
But I've got loads of memories of probably Halo 3 is the biggest one. Where
do you know what my biggest memory of you
I met Damo. Remember, Damo? I met Damo on Halo 3 and he came to my wedding. He went my stag do, so that's probably one of my favourite.
Do you know what my favourite memory of you, Chinny, in the 360? It's not a favourite, but someone that sticks out for me.
Go on.
When you got your 360 stolen. Remember when you got it stolen?
Oh yeah. I got Tara got a house robbed and they stole my 360. Yeah.
And you lost your gamer tag?
Yeah, lost my gamer tag, everything gone.
Yeah, I remember that. I was like, shit.
Lost my all my saves. I lost my laptop as well, my MacBook Pro.
You see, my favourite memory of the 360 was going into Tesco in Leyland and asking if they had them, and the guy going, "Oh, I think we've got 4 in the back actually." When there was like hen's teeth to try and get one. Yeah. And I'm like, have you really? And he's like, yeah, no, I think, well, I'll go and have a look for you. And he came out with one and he's like, here, mate, there's one here in the box. And I went and bought it. And I remember Sean at work being like, how the fuck did you get one of those? And I'm like, I just went into Tesco. And he happened to just have 4 in stock.
My mum bought me mine for my 21st birthday.
Did she?
Yeah, when I was 21. Yeah.
You're in luck, Derek, because I just recently... finished updating the Confessions of a Video Game Addict piece, which I wrote many years ago, and I hadn't written about owning a 360, strangely enough. So here's what I wrote. I'll read a little bit about Gears of War was the game that got me to switch from PlayStation to Xbox in 2006. My friend John had traded up to an Xbox 360, and one day he showed me a glimpse of the new generation of games. I was blown away by the way the screen shifted into roadie run mode, the camera bobbing and shaking as John's character raced into cover. Several days later, I was setting up my own 360. One of my first purchases, still buying used games, ever the cheapskate, was The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion. I fell in love immediately with the gorgeous landscape filled with quests and magic and people and activities. Sure, the dialogue minigame was idiotic, and the spells just kind of glowed out of your body, but it was an actual open world that made me want to explore. Whereas Mercenaries, Playground of Destruction, had a few repetitive outposts to take out between missions, and GTA San Andreas had some fun side missions, I explored those locations only when I needed a rest between actual objectives. In Oblivion, I kept meeting people who needed help with things. I kept wondering what those faint compass icons were in the distance. I kept hungering for answers to the questions raised by conversations. Never had a role-playing video game allowed me so much choice about the role I was playing. For the first time, I felt like I was actually steering my character's vessel.
Yeah.
If you want more cool stuff like that, you can wait for my book that'll come out probably next summer.
Hardly Dan in the chat says he got well done, by the way, dude. That was very good. Hardly Dan in the chat says I got it twice, 3 red lights he's talking about, and fixed it myself the second time.
Damn.
He also said Lemony Snicket's series of unfortunate events is also another Jim Carrey movie.
Played that.
It's a Jim Carrey.
Oh,
movie.
Man on the Moon.
Man on the Moon as well.
Yeah,
which I thought was aight.
Oh, and he was in Batman and Robin. Ugh.
No, he was in Batman Forever. Batman Forever.
Batman Forever. He played the Joker. Not the Joker. The
Riddler.
Riddler.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was in Batman.
Thank you.
Robin.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Derek Sainz, for that. Or sorry, Saint Derek or Saint whatever.
Not Derek.
Yes.
Not Derek.
Right. Not Derek.
Not
do
Derek.
anything further from Discord or Threads?
No, that's it. I think so. On that
there's nothing from Threads.
There's nothing from Threads.
Oh, can we check Threads though?
I've checked. There is nothing.
I'm playing it. I know how much you hate it.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I did my first ever post on Threads the other day.
Oh God, what did you post?
Okay.
And it was a reply to Duke.
Ah.
Oh, that's right. It's funny because I asked people what are the 3 most recent emojis you've posted, and a lot of people put heart or smiley face or laughing sideways, with the tears coming out. Chinny put 3 eggplant emojis, and it's weird because I would have thought that if it would just have the one because you use that a lot, and then it would have 2 other ones, but apparently it doesn't.
No, I use it so much that it was my recent 3.
It's 1 through 10.
Constantly using that
keyboard. One. Yeah. Okay.
And I'm quite happy for that to be my only post on
only thread post. Yeah, there you go.
Ever. It was 3
All right, we
eggplants.
should do some shout outs.
It's time for a shout out. Hey!
There you go.
I'll shout out Amar because he's always sending me fun stuff. Shout out Tainted Brain. Thank you for being in touch. Shout out to everybody who has been communicating with me on threads. Magic Lozenge and Chopper Kelly and Hardly Dan posted a very interesting video about rowing around in a kayak. That was cool. And Chinny with the eggplants. That was great. And Teflon 12. So thank you, everybody.
I will shout out the chat, of course. Soul Brother says Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3. This is probably the only gaming podcast that is not talking about Baldur's Gate 3.
Really.
Because we don't play games. It's the gaming podcast that doesn't play
when I could just start a new character.
We're playing recent games like Gears of War 5.
Well, I play
and
Baldur's Gate 3, where you could role play a fantasy character when I could do my laundry in a fucking
That's role playing.
It's not for us. Darren Sim, Hardly Dan, who has been in the chat. Fraser Mo. Pillow of Soft was at the start.
76. James Bevan. Simon Mallon.
Yep. So what
Pixel
up?
Duck.
Oh yeah, Pixel Duck.
Thanks,
Hello,
everybody.
yeah. Thanks, Pixel Duck.
Hello.
Pixel Duck.
I like that name, Pixel Duck.
Yeah.
You like Pixel Duck?
So check it. Just keep. We've been talking a lot more in the Discord. I've been using Discord more, so check out our Discord and also the merch. There's a thread there called merch, and we've got
Get your merch.
6 different tops. There's going to be a few more coming.
Give us some money!
So you've got the standard logo on the sort of left breast as well. We've got the 3 mugshots of us. We've got Duke's Something's Happening. We've got Just Play It in a kind of Nike style t-shirt.
Something's happening.
And then we've got a t-shirt that just says, fuck this game, I'm done. But we have got like a double jump t-shirt coming and some other ones as well. So yeah, check
Darren
out.
said you can play Baldur's Gate in 10 years to see if it holds up.
Yeah. So check out the merch. People have been buying them. So, I showed Duke the spreadsheet and people have been buying them. So that's good. Good stuff.
Well, I'm going to shout out all the people who are playing coffee golf because there's loads of people playing coffee golf.
Yeah, I haven't played it this week, really.
Yeah, I've been playing it. So Tim Kelly's playing it, Ricey55, SLH, My Tainted Brain, myself, of course, Pillow of Soft, and I think a Delbot as well.
Who's winning?
I would have said the Taff Man as well. Sorry, the Taff Man. He's the guy. He's like top 5% nearly every round, so he's doing pretty well.
Good job, Taff Man.
And Adam Bruno, Millie's boyfriend, has joined in, so he's on Discord and he posted his score. So shout out to all the people playing, playing the coffee golf. It's pretty good. It's a good little distraction for 2 seconds.
Yeah, like when you're having a coffee or something.
When you're having a cup of coffee on your coffee break. There you go. And that's it from me.
And thanks to everybody who sent in emails. Jason Gallagher. I can't think of names. And who else sent emails?
Darren Sim,
right. And then Saint Diesel sent a speak pipe.
Yeah, and Brian, My Tainted Brain.
Of course.
Brain.
All right, that's it, everybody. Thank you for listening to our fun podcast.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, show's over. No refunds. You heard the robot. Get out.
Instead, sitting at home, watch TV, turning on slow cooks.
Quake 2 remake is the
It is.
play my game
Yep.
for next week.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, well that's it. I'm gonna go make dinner because the Duchess is out at a thing, and she's like, I'm not gonna have time to make dinner. So I was like, I'll make dinner.
What are you making?
I'm gonna make the divine casserole and corn.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Corn, and I like corn, so
I like corn.
yeah. The divine casserole is my signature dish.
Okay.
It's just mac and cheese out of a box with veggie burgers chopped up in it. But
Nice.
it's very
Sounds
good.
good. See,
tasty.
the worst things taste the best, as I've always said.
That's right.
Indeed.
He's a qualified
Right.
chef saying that.
Yeah. The unhealthiest things are always tasty.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
Right. See you all later, guys.
Yeah.
Have a good,
Have a good week,
folks.
y'all.
Yeah.
Bye.
And I'll see you next week.
Ta-ra.
Bye bye.